broad stripes. And bright stars through the perilous fights, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Home of the brave. Home of the brave.
Ko kore ke hufanga I he ngahi tala whaapapa kotoa pē kua whaia te pē mi he paenga o e Vake Tali Folau I he whiawhi whakakoloa koe ni, pia kore ke hufanga I pē I he tala malu e whanua. Kai lava ke whahoka atu ai polokalama I he whiawhi koe ni, pia me he lofa talamatangi oku live atia pia me senta ko ia o e Sanoa, me I olo miuta, ai a koe kautaha ia oku nau whao, ai nonu ko ia o hono pōni. Aia koe nonu ia o hono aho o e tau whanga kui. Pea whiawhia I whanga maari e ke lawa ke tau whekitengaki ai I he weekendi. Pea I he hoa e tolu koe te tau whiao pea mo au. O hoko ia ko ha tāpuaki ki a te au. Ke lawa ke whaiha ngahi tokoni pea o atu pea mo ngahi polokalama ke lava tokoni ke te koe pia mo whamiri. Tukumoa ke tukua e whakaapa maalunga taha ke tau tamai he wani, ko ia kono tāpu kina aki tau tolu katoa ai tonga mea katoa mai, pia mi he ngalu ea, pia mo he ngalu ope o tau ausia le rei ai ahoni. Whiawhia ma ope ke lawe I he motu a whaifatongia o ku lako I whie le rei ma o ai pe ai ne a whiwhio, ai tamatu I tau whahau tu powono ka maa whoke e tahine kuini nanas pau tuku ahau pia moe whare o haa moe au who. Whamalo ke lau maari le rei aho eiki moe haa mata apure ka maa whoke haa lotu. Pia moe kahinga tonga kotoa pe mo mea mai I he tapa pe o e kolope. Ki mutolu mo kau mai I he ngalu ea, kau maa whoke ai ngalu ope. Tau te whituga te ki mutolu o ku mo kau ngawe aki ai application ko ia ai paenga o e Vake Tali Folau. Oku free pe aua na ngalo ke download ia ba vahe ia mo ki nau tolu. Au ngahi kau ngā mea ke nau whanongo mo mamata. Ke mea ke ngahi programa live kotoa pe u whahoka tu me paenga o e televisione. Kau maa whoke a retio Tonga Vake Tali Folau Global Media Network. Pea he whiawhini, ko au awhapalu whahoka atu ai programa lofa talamatangi e whiawhini. Pea koe laki houa, konga o e laki houa e lawa whae ke toai ai toke tā nifo koe ni ko Dr. Kirk Mosley. Ai ana e whae ke te ki mua, pea lere atu pea mo hono hoa, parangi o ngāoe I he ki I whare tohonga I koia o e nifo, I ria hona pia mi ai ki saine ha I wawao. Whiawhia ki hao e toko tahane o wahe a ene ngahi u experience, pia kohono tafunaki koe ngahi ngāo e peheni tēnā lava ai ngai kakai, o koe kai ke tau lava maua paanga whiunga ke totongi a ki nau tolu, ke nau atu ki tonga o whai e ngahi service, o ku tae totongi ki ho tau kakai I tonga. Pea koe tahaia ngai uhinga u tafanaki ma uai pe ai whahinga kakai peheni. Pea haua hano ua, e lava kau mai a te vita whare, ai ko wholoa e ne ka iloa pia me paenga o Vake Tali Folau. Ke whahoka atu ha polokalama heni, ne anga maheni foki e tau tahani nei whahoka polokalama atu i he whiunu koula e Tonga, ai au kui ai se misi pon po me e, ka maa foki a linsi po me e, pia mo e ta po me e sisters. Pea tumu ake taitari aki mutolu e siare iongi pea ka hiri rewa ai taitari ko ia ko tui e heni rewa a Dr. Mosley ke lawa ke whahoka polokalama i he whiawhi koe ni.
In Tonga they say, malo lele. In Fiji they say, pura vinaka. In Samoa they say, talo falava. In New Zealand they say, ki ora oe. In Hawaii they say, aloha oe. But in America, a happy, happy, happy day. Fia, 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 maupe. In Tonga they say, malo lele. In Fiji they say, pura vinaka. In Samoa they say, talo falava. In New Zealand they say, ki ora oe. In Hawaii they say, aloha oe. But in America, the happy, happy day. Fia, 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 maupe. Awe, awe, te vai na kahiti. Whakalawhe tāna oe, alomi lomi e. Awe, awe, te vai na kahiti. Whakalawhe tāna oe, alomi lomi e. Tahiti nuru ia te whare aue, taua erea. Mama, ia te uri aue, pea te orua. Aue, aue, aue oie.
e hoeki mo e haamata pure u whiawhia ke taitale rea ki mo tolu ki he prokalama lofa taumatangi i he whiawhi whakakoloa koe ni. Pea e he whiawhini o kui he ni Dr. Mosley. Pea whiawhia upito i he ni toki tā nifo koe ni. Fola tau e ne practice i he dentistry. Pea me Arizona. Pea ne lava atu pea mono hoa whai ngau e ofa ki Tonga. Pea, so I'm telling them about you and your wife who just came back from Tonga. I wonder if we can divide this up into 4 sections, like share with us what your feelings when you first got there. The second one probably majority about your work that you did in Liahona. And number 3, which will be the one that you did in Vava'u, see how that compared to Liahona. And the last one, what advice will you give based on what you have saw in the islands? Okay.
Very good.
Go ahead.
Okay, my wife and I were very delighted to have the opportunity to go to Tonga and Malo Elele. You're supposed to say Fefe Haki, and I say Saipe.
Yeah.
Okay, we agree with everything that we had heard and read about in the books. Tonga is a friendly island, and we found the people there very friendly and very open to visitors, to tourists, to workers, anyone who would come to the island. So my wife and I had been in Washington for a while before we went to Tonga, and there's a city in Washington called Aberdeen. And as you drive into the city, there's a sign that welcomes people, and it says, "Come as you are." And my wife and I went to Tonga as we were, as Hollies or whatever you call them in Tonga. But we were accepted, unconditional, from the day we stepped off the plane. Someone was there to pick us up and give us some food until we could get to the market, and we just loved the warm greeting. We saw immediately love for family and love of family. It seems like every occasion you could think of, someone was having a birthday, someone was having another birthday, someone was having a graduation, someone was having a funeral. Whatever the occasion, everyone was getting together as family, and we could see the love of family present on the island of Tonga. My wife and I were very, very, very impressed. Now, we had the opportunity to go and visit 6 islands of your 170 plus islands in Tonga, and I worked as a dentist on 3 islands. So I will talk a little bit first about Tongatapu, being at Liahona. But first I have to say just a little bit about each island. So Tongatapu, my wife and I were just blown away, literally. I mean, at the blowholes. We just could go and watch them every chance we get, and just for hours watch the blowholes on the coastline. It was so incredible. And then on Saturdays, my wife liked to go downtown to the markets. And I think I even saw one of my old sweatshirts there at the market. I could have bought it back. Then we had the chance to go to Ha'apai. And anyone who's been to Ha'apai, as you fly in, this is the most incredible thing. You see water on both ends of the runway, and you hope that the pilot knows how to land the plane before it gets to the other end of the runway and you're in the water again. And then we found out that when we went to the resort to stay, that you actually drive through the runway when the planes are not landing, and they move animals through there, and they move people and bikes, and so we were amazed at the runway at Ha'apai. And then Vava'u is a snorkeling paradise. We just saw every kind of fish in the world. Okay, let's go back to Liahona. So we spent probably the most time at Liahona, and we found obviously a school that was just incredibly set up for education of the young people. We were just very, very impressed with that all that had been has gone on for years to make the education so high and so possible for so many people, and how they bring students from other islands. And I saw the boys from Fiji, how they come and stay, and they're taken in by the Tongans, and it was just very impressive. And when we got to Liahona, there was one other dentist from Canada, and we found out that no matter how many dentists that they provided at Liahona, there were enough patients to fill all the chairs every day from morning until evening. So
Wow.
I have to say that I hadn't worked that hard for a long, long time since I was very young. But once again, I think we watched Moana or listened to Moana 1,000 times, because in the waiting room, they kept playing the tape of Moana and to entertain the people waiting. And I thought, if they play Moana one more time, I'm going to throw up. But we felt like my wife, she is not a dental assistant. She's a writer, and she said she would go as my dental assistant. And after she had suctioned blood and spit for a few weeks, she said, "You have a terrible, sucky job." And I said, "I know, I've done it for 40 years, and now you understand why I come home grouchy sometimes." So at Liahona, we enjoyed our time. The people were so friendly, and we would go for walks on the campus in the morning, and I was invited by the men to join in the pickleball in the morning, and it was so fun to play pickleball with the...
Oh, so pickleball is in Tonga already?
It is, and
Oh, my
they have, the tennis courts are kind of not such good shape anymore at the Liahona campus, and I teach tennis in high school, so I was hoping, I taught a few people over there while I was there, but the courts were not in too good a shape, and so most of the people were playing pickleball indoors. So they would set up 3 courts and play pickleball indoors, and of course we had the opportunity to go to church there at a couple of the wards, and a very wonderful opportunity. And there were other couples there that were on different types of missions, and they took us in because we had no car, and they took us to the store to help us show us where to buy the food and the supplies, and we had just an incredible time all around.
So did you get some fruits from some of the folks down there, and food and things like that?
Yeah, pineapple, bananas, avocados. We had avocados right there at our house.
Oh.
And then manioki and coconuts, and
Papaya?
of course fish, and I think I had papaya once. But the funnest part was the coconuts, because I've never opened a coconut before, and I saw a Tongan man, how he put a spike in the ground and rammed it on there and took the husk off, and then the whole process with the knife. And so by the time I had been there a couple months, I could do the same, not very quick like him, but I was just impressed that I could actually get inside of a coconut.
That's impressive. So at these kind of things, this is like you and your wife and other attendees and their wives give up your time to go down there and serve the people. Is this some kind of somebody organizing them, or do you have a number you can call and offer your services?
Just for anyone who, as a dentist, who wants to offer their services, they can go through a couple of different ways that the church missionary system. We did not go as church missionaries, but we had talked to people who had been there before as dentists, and they told us the name of a man who would get all the paperwork done so we could go as humanitarian volunteers. And I don't have his name right off the bat, but if they wanted to call me, Dr. Mosley, I can give you my information.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So after all these years, your practice was in Arizona, mostly in Arizona,
Yes.
or some here in Utah?
In Arizona, in Tucson, Arizona, is where my wife and I raised our children.
So to go from Arizona to Tonga, what's the similarities or differences between the the practicing in there?
This similarity is that they're both warm, and Arizona gets hotter, but Tonga gets more humid, and so the variety of the foods is quite different because we don't have pineapples and coconuts and some of these things in Arizona. Arizona, my wife have lived in a couple different places in Arizona. We've lived up in the mountains, the White Mountains, where the elevation is 7,000 feet. So it's just very similar to Utah. And we've also lived in Phoenix and Tucson, where it's just very much flat and desert. But to go to a beautiful island with a coastline and blowholes and snorkeling, and it's just that part is not similar at all. We just were so happy when we'd come a weekend also that we could take a little time to visit the beach or visit some of the historic sites on the island.
Oh, nice. And I saw some of your postings. Your wife posted on Facebook about you guys snorkeling and swimming and eating some traditional food down there.
We did. We ate, I think, about everything that one taxi man that took us somewhere, he told us he was going to bring us a little bit of everything the next day, and he brought everything, including octopus and the meat wrapped in the taro leaves. And so we got a little taste of everything on the island, I think.
Wow, that's incredible. So some people, I talked to some of my friends, and I told them, hey, you need to tune in tonight. And they said, can you ask him if he was given another opportunity, will he go back?
And the answer is yes. We learned a few things. We got a little bit of bad information from the person who helped us get our paperwork, and we didn't go to or have the right paperwork to stay for longer. So, and we stayed too long. And when we left at the airport, they were very, very nice to us. They could have made us pay a lot of money to get out because we hadn't re-upped our paperwork, and we were told that it was all in order. And so we know how to go about it a little differently now so that we can stay longer as humanitarian people. So yes, it would be a very nice opportunity to go back. And my wife and I were working on a video while we were there with Neil Crisp, who's a videographer who lives on the island. And our goal was to make a video for the schools and the clinics and the churches to use, as I'll talk a little bit later, about prevention. Because, as I told you, I don't think we could put enough dentists in those clinics, because the challenge is that in America and other Canada and places that have dentists where lots of dentists on every corner where you can get your teeth cleaned every 6 months and have fluoride put, and you can eat junk food in America and not have the problems you have in Tonga. But when you do the same thing in Tonga, you have more problems because you can't see the dentist when you need to, and a small things becomes a big problem. And so I will talk a little more in a minute about the prevention. And in dentistry, we say that a 1 ounce of dental floss is better than a pound of pliers. So we try to teach the young kids what to do from the time they're very young in the schools.
You know, there's something about pliers that scares a lot of us. And I remember as a young kid, and I had a tooth that needed to be pulled out. And I saw the dentist. My parents took me there, and literally they have the pliers that I've seen my dad and my uncles use.
In the garage.
So
yes.
that scares a lot of us.
Yes.
And even though we're older now, we still kind of feel that feeling when we go see the dentist, you know?
Yeah, no, I had a patient. I've been volunteering up in Salt Lake at the Donated Dental, where we help people who are a little bit, bad for their luck right now. And I donate some time being a dentist up there. And I had a patient yesterday when I gave the shot. She said to me, "You are so mean." And I said, "That's what my kids and my wife say, so sorry, It's the job of a dentist to be mean." So.
Yeah, so a lot of us, and I think prevention is, I remember they used to come around in elementary school, but I think they need to do a lot of those so that the kids, the upcoming generations and the rest of them will do a better job than what we did. I think we ate a lot of the chocolates from New Zealand, and that has been bad for us.
Yes, no, I think you're exactly right, and like you say, we'll get into that a little bit more at the end, but I grew up in southern Utah in a little community of Blanding. At that time, it was 1,200 people, and all I remember is my mother was the Relief Society president, and at Christmas, a family in our ward, their house burned down, and one of the things, I gave up two things. One toy truck, a present of mine to the little boy who had nothing, and I gave up my toothbrush. So it shows from very early on, the toothbrush was not very important to me. I had no idea I would ever grow up and become a dentist, but it is, I grew up in Blanding with lots of cavities. I would go to the dentist every other day home from school, and the dentist would fix your tooth, and then he would give you a coupon to go to the Dairy Queen to eat some more ice cream to get more cavities so you would come back. So, yeah, but my kids, fortunately, and my grandkids are doing better, and that's my goal with a couple places. I've worked on the Indian reservations in the United States, and in Tonga is to teach the rising generation so that they can have less and less problems with their oral health, with their mouths.
Great. Let's take a break, a commercial break. When we come back, some people talk about your experience in Vava'u. They come from the Vava'u people, So let's take a break, then we'll come back. Ko ia e hoi ki mo hamta pure o ku whiawhia mo mea mai ki he programa he whiawhini ka mo eiki pe mua ka mo share te tau programa. Tu mua ke tuata on ki whanonong heni, e te kinau tolu kuna wanga ofa o ngā ea ke pāinga o he Vake Tali Folau, ke tuake nau ngai business hi pe lava ai ke whai o mau ngai whatongia ke te ki mo tolu. Pea ka hiri e pe tau toki whoki mai.
I give you all my loving, baby. You throw it all away and make me cry.
O ko ke fia whakatau hau api California, o ke palani ki whakatau hau api I California. Tā lewa ki Brian Terrell Landing Company, nima tau noa, ono wau noa noa ono tau taha, te ko hiwa taha ono no taha hiwa ua tolu hiwa, he kohok tane ni ti ena, te hoko ko hoa ngāwe, te te ao mo koe, ka lewa ko lava mao aho api. Whewheo ka pau palpale mai to tongi ho api California. Peo kolo aho tunga whapaanga, peo whea mau ki holoke to tongi aho api I mahina. I meiri ki a Brian Terrell Landing Company, ptlending@yahoo.com. Pa teo whakawhetewete a palpale mau ke to whangai, ka ke mau ha mo ui whiawhia, no ngā mo tawataina. Ko ke fo'inai I to tongi renzi hene mamafa whauwhaua I California. Tā ki he Brian Terrell Landing Company, whika telefoni, nima tau noa ono walu noa ono tau taha, pe hiwa taha ono taha hiwa ua tolu hiwa, tene whahātua ngai whaunga lelei taha, ke mawahe ai mei he totongi rent. Ko e Brian Terrell Landing Company ia, kua wholoa tau e mau I he tawhaakoe ni, pe aku mau osilai seni foki I California. Whika telefoni, hiwa taha ono taha hiwa ua tolu hiwa, pe koe nima tau noa, ono walu noa ono tolu taha, pe ko ho emaili ki he btlending@yahoo.com. Let's do it. Let's go. Let's own a house now. Aua, koe Brian Terrell Landing Company ia. DGX, Dependable Global Express. Aua, koe DGX Dependable Global Express. He koe ha koe, ko au ia ko whakamaman lahi, whakamaha apureanga, whakatu apureanga pia toi whakahewani whoki e tō o ngā. Dependable Global Express, O whewhe, o ko whaiwhatungia me ngai state ko toa Amerika ni manatu o ko whakamaman lahi. Dependable Global Express, seuke, hange koe ha, o ko lava e au awe o container puha ta ngai talamu pini, I ngai sais keke. Au peke au mea lele pe ko a sea sofa, pe ko a koloa whakamuvete pe manatu, pe au whakahewani hono totongi. Dependable Global Express, siuhu o awe ki whe. Te ulama awe uta ki ha motu pe Pasifiki. Ki Tonga Vake Tali, ha ki fisi New Zealand, Australia, apia American Samoa, Tahiti pape e te mo fua. Ha foki ngai whanua e sia, hange, ko sia pani sia ina tai kwanto toita mo Suzuki, pe hao ki ulope manatu, a au mo ene whakawaha apure anga. Dependable Global Express. Siuhu! Dependable Global Express. Fedeu tak leva que fica telefone. Tolu, tahanoa, ono, ono hiva, valu 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 valu. Extension, tahawa tolu ono. Pego e toll free number, valu valu valu, valu valu noa, valu valu hiva fitu. Pego e emaili, risa.katoa@dtxglobal.com. Sai que tal telefone. Dependable Global Express. O whakamaman lahi, whakatoa pune anga e mawhai whatongia maau, pea whakaatui mo whakahewani ai totongi. Whitutaki, fika telefoni, tolu tahanoa, ono, ono hiva, valu valu, valu valu, extension, tahaua tolu ono. Pego e mau toll free number, valu valu valu, valu valu noa, valu valu, hiva fitu, ko e DGXia pea mohonoanga.
whamalo pito ka te motolu hoi ki mo ha mta pule mo tu time ka mo me mai ki he programa lofa talamatangi I he fiafi whakakoloa ko ni o kui heni foki whakataha pa mo Dr. Mosley ke lava vahe atu ai ngahi au sia na ne mau I hene aulatu ki Tonga o whai hangawe ofa ko e toki tā nifo fokieni pea me Tonga ki ha pai bu vavau. But most of the people want to know about your experience in Vava'u. So there must be special.
Vava'u was special, and because there are some people from Ha'apai and who have had family come from there, I have to just tell two little things about Ha'apai. I said about the airstrip, but the other thing, when we got to the airport, we had no car, and a nice brother just picked us up and took us to our apartment and showed us where we were going to get a place to rent. And then every day when I would go to the hospital, I just walk. I always walk just for my exercise. But I could never walk to the hospital at Ha'apai because the people would always see me and pick me up and say, "We can give you a ride." And I wanted to be nice because they were being nice, but I didn't get very much exercise because the people were very nice in Ha'apai also. Now, Vava'u, we had heard a little bit about it, and we had the opportunity to go in, and we stayed on the Sione campus. It was a time when the school was not in session, and the principal was there. We met him and his grandson or nephew. I lose track right now, but anyway, from the time we first came, they were so very, very nice to us. We had people that would bring us pineapples and would bring us, many things, and it was just a very, very, very fun time. People asked us if they could drive us. Anyway, the principal's grandson was getting ready to go on a mission to Fiji, and we said, no, we would like to pay him a little bit so he could drive us around the island, and which he did, and he would take us to north and south and east and west, and the bay at Vava'u was so beautiful, and we took a charter little tinny boat from there and got to go one day to several islands snorkeling, and my wife just wanted to never go home. She loves to snorkel, and I thought she would stay in Vava'u forever. And then we got to go the other part of the island and see the underwater cave, and we would go to swim and snorkel, and we would just drive up to a place and ask where we might get in the water. They said, "This is our place, and you just go right out here and get in." And so once again, they were very nice. The only traumatic part of when the man took us on the boat to do snorkeling, he was a little bit of a joker. And there's the one sea cave that's big enough to drive your boat right in. And he was driving the boat straight into the cliff, it looked like. And my wife was looking at the cliff and looking at us, and she said, "I think we're going to die." And at the last minute, he drove into the sea cave and cut his motor, and we just came to a stop. But my wife, I thought she would have a heart attack, but he didn't tell us what he was doing. And we also got to go with the bishop's son-in-law out onto his little farm ranch. He had 6 or 8 cows out past the airport and along the coast, and we wanted to know what ranching was like in Tonga. And he said, every week I have to take the water barrels out to the animals and feed the animals. So he took us in his truck with his children, and we just had a very fun, because it's way different than in Arizona. But and then we got to meet the patriarch there on the island, and he's part of the family too. And he went up to the banana tree, and his son went up to it and took one chop with the machete, and the thing fell on his shoulder, and then he gave us fresh bananas. And I have never in my life had a fresh banana off the tree like that, so this was pretty fun. So they just took us in like we were family. We went to church there, and I borrowed a lava from so I could go to church once like that. My wife said, "You don't want to buy one? You're not going to wear it home." So he will loan me one so I can at least go to church once. So my wife got to make fun of me. She thought that was pretty funny. But we went to church there a few times, and everyone, kept offering to take us around and to feed us. And I'm a tennis coach in America, and there were several tennis players there, and with the courts around the corner, we would get up early in the morning and go play. So they were nice to include me in every part of their life. We hiked to the top of that little mountain there, and we went over around to the bridge, and the kids were jumping off the bridge, and I got up there with the kids, jumped off the bridge into the water, and my wife said, "You're going to die." So we just had so much fun. And that's the even more fun part is when I went to work at the clinic, because every clinic is a little different, but they don't have a dentist there, and they didn't have anything but 2 technicians that all they do is pull teeth. And so when I got there, I could do root canals and do fillings and help the people. And the ladies that were doing the extractions, Queen Salote, and the other lady I forget, but they were better at pulling teeth than me, and I was so amazed. And they're not even dentists. And I said, these ladies are they're stronger than me, and they're better at pulling teeth. So fortunately, I did the root canals and the fillings, and we made a good team. But they were so very kind to me. One day they just said, the weather is so beautiful today. Don't stay here at the clinic. We have too many patients today, and you haven't seen enough of the island. We want you to go see some more of the island before you go. So,
so that's a great experience. I wish there were enough time, and we've got to find a way for people like you who are, for 40 years you have done dentistry, that you can train people like that in Vava'u. Do you have been to Tonga, Ha'apai, and Vava'u. Do you see, what's the message that come out of the people that come to see you for root canal or for pulling their teeth or whatever? So what will be your advice to them and to us here?
So the advice that I give to Tonga, Ha'apai, Tonga Tapu, Ha'apai, Vava'u, and any of the little islands where people live is the same advice that I give to America, because Canada, Europe, any place we've gone, because people can live next door to a dentist, and they can live next door to grocery stores where they get food, and they don't take advantage of it. So in our job, we try to prevent disease, and we try to help people eat nutritious food, and we try to help them do preventative things. And so the nutritious foods are more available on Nuku'alofa, where we've got a supermarket and several vegetable places, and people have the opportunity to get quite healthy food. But the other areas of Tonga Tapu, they only have the convenience stores. And the other islands at Ha'apai and Vava'u and the smaller islands, they only have small convenience stores that don't have a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables, and they have a lot of soda, and they have lots of chips, and they have lots of things that are not very good for our teeth. And so as a doctor, we are always encouraging people to, where they can with their budget, to spend it on fresh fruits and vegetables, and to get things that would make it possible for them to try to avoid diabetes, heart disease, obesity. And it's pretty hard on some of the islands to come up with the things that teach people to. But we have people in America who have every opportunity, and they still go to I'm not going to name the store, convenience, quick food places, and they don't take advantage of all the fresh fruits and vegetables we have, and all the variety of foods that would help us.
Okay. So you said something about the soda. Did you see a lot of soda in Tonga compared to Ha'apai, compared to Vava'u?
So, the place we saw the most soda consumed, I think, was on the Liahona campus. Unfortunately, they have a convenience store right across the street, and the kids have lots of chips and soda and ice cream. And anyway, in America, people do the same. And so it's not anything against. It's just that we have gone away from, we have what's called the nutritional transition, because we have gone away from the traditional foods, which are most nutritious, and we're replacing these foods with convenience foods. So the traditional foods of pineapple, bananas, avocados, taro, manioki, coconuts, fish, are not being consumed as much as they should, even in Tonga, where the islands where they have them, and people are relying too much on the convenience stores.
Okay, so and the fruits. Did you get more fruits in Vava'u? Kind of like the same with Tonga Tapu, or what
Yeah.
fruits there were the most predominant fruits that you ate in Vava'u?
In Vava'u, I remember having pineapple a lot, coconut a lot, and fish a lot. And so when I was in Tonga Tapu, I had pineapple, bananas, avocados, sweet potatoes, taro, manioki, coconuts, fish. I had everything, but it was both of Vava'u, from what we had, was a little bit more limited on the fresh fruits in Vava'u, and then it was very limited in Ha'apai.
Okay, some of the fruits are seasonal, of course. When I was there as a missionary, I served in Te Fisi, and Te Fisi at the time had a lot of pineapples. So it's not unusual that we wake up, eat pineapples. When we come back for lunch, we eat pineapples. And dinner time, we eat pineapples. And then, of course, eat pineapples before we go to bed.
Yes, and I love pineapple. We ate pineapple 3 times a day, sometimes 2. That was so nice.
So I'm sure that those that came for your services and others there were very grateful for these kind of services, especially tendies, because you don't have that many tendies in there. If you do need to go, usually the tendies were in my village, in Havelu and Tofo. That's where the hospital is at. But having, how many people do you, if you approximate, they come to the clinic in Liahona, Ha'apai, and Vava'u?
On a day?
Yeah, on a daily
Yeah,
basis.
so on Liahona, we would see 40 patients a day, so 20 patients a day for me and 20 patients for the other doctor. And at Ha'apai, they would probably only see, the time I was there, only see 5 patients a day. This was kind of unusual because they previously at Ha'apai had a dentist that wasn't so well liked. And so no one went there anymore, so they brought in a new dentist from Tonga Tapu, and I would go around, and we'd have a couple of meetings at the church, and I would go around talking to people and explain that this dentist is good, and so they would come to the office with me there with him, and so we were starting to rebuild the trust so that people would come, because he was a very good dentist. And then on Vava'u, we had unlimited patients. They would take about 20 patients a day at Vava'u, and then they would say, come back tomorrow.
So in other words, when it's 5 o'clock hits, you still have some people waiting, and you ask them to come back the following day.
Well, at Vava'u, the way they did it was they just had 20 people sign up each day, and when we finished the 20, then we would go home, and sometimes it was before 5, and sometimes it was after.
Oh, wow. We really appreciate you and your wife, taking the time to do service for others. And I'm pretty sure the people of Tonga Tapu, Ha'apai, and Vava'u were greatly blessed by your services, things like that. What's in store for you and your wife in the future? Do you go to Fiji? Do you go to Africa? Which place are you thinking about?
We, on the way home from Tonga, we went for 10 days to New Zealand because we had the opportunity to go there, and we got to see another island and meet lots of Maori people there. And so every place we go, we would like to go back. We've served in Europe and China and here, and so the next place that we have talked about going is actually Alaska, because they need dentists up there in the wintertime in Alaska when it's very cold, and I've never been to Alaska. So that's
Okay.
that's a dream that I have. I don't know if it will come to pass, but we are working on that with the COVID-19. Everything is kind of up in the air right now.
Oh, that would be great for Alaska. You know, there is a big Polynesian community in Alaska. Don't ask me why, but there are quite a few of them. And I remember talking to some of them and say, hey, do your kids play hockey? They say, ice hockey? Yeah, it's cold in there. And they said, why did you go there if you know it's cold? It's the game for the cold places, you know.
Yes.
But we do you have give a final advice to our people about how to care for your tooth?
Okay, so the final advice is that, like right now, Tonga is doing really well with COVID-19, and that's because they shut off, they don't let people come in who have the disease, and they sent everyone else home. And so this is our goal with teeth. People are all born with good teeth and the opportunity to have good teeth for our life. And so how can we keep them good? Well, we have to keep the bad things, like Tonga is keeping COVID-19 out, and we have to keep the bacteria out of our teeth. And how do we do that? Well, we start it at birth. You mothers and grandmothers, you take a cloth for the first 6 months. You have no teeth, but when the teeth start coming in at 6 months to a year and a half, you just use a cloth and wipe the teeth. At age 2, you start to use a fluoride toothpaste with a pea-sized drop of fluoride toothpaste 3 times a day. It's very important you do it 3 times a day, not once. And then by age 8, start flossing the teeth. And in America, Canada, some places you have the chance, go to the dentist every 6 months. They'll put fluoride on your teeth, they'll clean them, they'll fix small cavities. But if you're in Tonga or no family or friends who are in there, the probably single biggest thing you can do to prevent cavities is skip as much as possible sodas, chips, candy, especially lollies. Lollies just, the sugar stays on the teeth. It looks so cute, but it just stays on the teeth. We had so many young children with rotten teeth from lollies, and we just say, I know it seems good, but when you don't have access to the dentist in some of the islands, and even in Tonga Tapu, it's hard to get a dental appointment. I say you have to do way more than we do in America, Canada, and other countries. You have to skip as much as possible what we call the convenience food.
Okay. Appreciate your time, Dr. Mosley. Appreciate your services and examples that you have set for our people in Tonga and here. So thank you for the opportunity to be on the show and to share your experiences in Tonga, Hawaii, and of course, Vava'u.
Aloha.
So, yeah, aloha. Hawaii ki mahamata pule, tu mua ke tuata whanonongo heni pia ka hiri koe apatau toki poko atu.
Au he pongpongi ta tangi e ku telefoni si o hifo ki ai koe kau taha koleksini. O si pe minite wanoa tauto ulo mai messenger. Si o hifo ki ai koe kau tonga tala mai ko tu usi e nau uhila. Hanga hifo ki akau ni ko negativi wha hifo he pesi ko TNI. Si o hatu lalo whakamolu whonua e whala ngatu mo fihu. Fale vai mawhana finance ko hoku whakau fika telefoni ono ni manoa ua fitu walu no noa wha fitu. Fale vai mawhana finance e, ono ni manoa ua fitu walu no noa wha fitu ko telefoni e. Ko e pau e whai whatungi a mua wawe, ko loa pe ho ko loa whatonga ke fo o molore. Ko mau tuku pā ke mau hoko ko pāre tua. Ai kau tā no e whare vai mawhana, ono ni manoa ua fitu walu no noa wha fitu, ko e whika telefoni ena, tā mai he ko hono whakanei fua ai mawhana e mau whai whatungi a.
Sete a elolo,
He he, ko iai halolo ia ko ngahui pia vilohi, pia mix mei palataisi. Ke whakatori a ngahi whakaamu whakasino mo ata mai. Ke mili pia ke whakasanisani mo masani mo whakamanifi. Pia ke foto aki ia ki hakatoa ngā aholahi. Pia ke toki ilo ai e mamani, ko e loloni ia, ko e tāpu aki mei langi. O ua, he he.
Teke ae lolo, kakalatea, ene manongi, whakataru-taru, o kai fiafi, pea le ngangatu, ene tō o ngaki a koe moau.
Alasi le puha ko e kumana ia. Kata mua mai e waka o mateki a koe, ko ke mateo teo nai?
Pele hongoni, na whawhalala pe ki ho o tuputupu lea whanua.
Le puha, le o ke pehete ulawa tuputupu le whanua ke ngangana hi whapaanga ki whai a koputu, mawe ke uto ho mawhai mana ia hadai ni.
Ie, ko osi ki wheho o iwi whaimana.
Alasi o ngā mātua, ko au mau i kiskis whewhine, koe kure atu mei pulotu, o te moho haa, he kui ai e whaunga ki tokoni atu ki homo tuunga ma teu o ka hoko mai a mate. Ko Lincoln Heritage Funeral Advances, e lava ke ai ha mo malu i putu. Ko malu i putu o ku lava ke malu i ha whewhine pe tangata, pe ku sisi i hifo hono tau motua i he tau waunima. O kune lava malu i hataha pe o kai mau ene pepa, pe o kai ha ene fika ngā ue, o kai whaka ke fie mau hasiri mo i lelei. Te tau lava pe o whakafonu i he telefoni pe i kai fie mau, te tau toi fi tau laki. Koe whai ngofua, mawe pe o ko pau fuki he o ka hoko mai e mate, i loto i he hoa e ua wha, e hoa i a ho paanga malu i ho account, pe a ke nonga mo e fie mari, pe to e nonga fuki mo ho whanau, mo toi ngai family. Koia, tuku ai ke pea mo tā ke whika telefoni. Ona ni manoa, tolu noa fitu ni mini mataha. Pe koe whika telefoni a ane pasina. Ona ni manoa, malu tolu wha fitu.
Oia we, kua ongo ki puloto e ku ta e matete.
Iyo, koe whakamore whakaoski o mo ui o kio awhini mā pē. Tā lewa ke whika telefoni, ono ni manoa walu tolu wha fitu, ke koe ono ni manoa tolu noa fitu nime taha ki whakaikiki, he kua ose taimia tuputupu le whanua. O fie mauia, ke mateu teu e toko taha kotoa, o ka hoko mai a mate ki o tau whamiri.
kawa kua heka, he kawa kua heka. Ave ia maa, mawhi whakapotu. Ko e whanua e, tau hike malu. Ko e whatungia, ke whakapapau. Ko e oa, ke mau, angi a apa o e hau. Angi a apa o e hau. Ka ai tōna e langi kuota. Whaone
Malo a pito whamalo ke te mutolo ho eki mo he haamata pule mo mea mai ki he konga honoua e programa lofa talamatangi i he fiafini pe a whiawhia upito kui he ni a te vita whare ke whai ha whepota noa aki whikau aki mo e tau te whito ke ngā historia ko ia ho tau whanua a Tonga. Te vita? Taitari a ngota honga maari e koe ki he paenga e Vake Tali Folau. Mahalo koe, o sen mahalo mahina e ono ko ti koe taimina ke programa e pia mo James Bond po me e ki he VDF Hollywood. Pia ke ki Folau atu ki Tonga, Nuusila, a musia go ke Folau tarai holona. Pea whiawhia upito he whenga maari e o kumau he whiawhini ke lava ke tā programa tuai pea koloto ke tuga te taimi ke te koe ke vahe mai ha me au ke loto ke vahe i he whiawhi koe ni. Malo.
Koe a malo apito awha. Tatalere au e programa. Alofa.
I alofa talamatangi.
Talamatangi. Koe lofa talamatangi he talai ho tau historia he whiawhini. Ki fuolo mai e tau marolo. Koe o whapegu ongolere atu ki he tonga kotoa o ku mō whanongo mai he whiawhini. E tau talanoa ko tau historia whoki ke ai kau muri ia pa koe tolahi e tau kau whau historia ku nau loto taha ko tau historia na tau o mai mei Taiwani. Pea ko tau tolu ko ka kaula pita ki tau tolu. Pea moe rea whakasiaina koe astronosia. O pehe koe ongo mea ia whau ho tau historia ake anga ase kulo o mea na mauia mei New Caledonia. Moe rea koe ni, koe hauia mei Taiwan, o pehe koe tau o mai mei Taiwan. Whakawha pehe ia, koe sio ia e kau muri. E kehe pehe sio e muri he koe whoko no historia ona.
Koia.
Koe mea koe ni ko osi tohi, o koe ke kaua tonga ia. Koe historia ia koe rea e kausia ina, mo nge e kulo o mea mei New Caledonia. Ka ia mea taha ia e kaua tonga. Nā tonu whoki ke ia e kauha mea mei tonga i he whau o tau historia. e pos mahino e talo e hake ai kaupālangi Tonga ma nau pehe ko he civilization maulunga a tau tolo. Ka nau pehe ko e tau historia ko na tau hau mai Taiwani, fau mai Filipaini, pehe mai ai ki kau Melansia, o tau toki au ki Tonga mo fisi moha moa.
Koia. Ai whako nau ngahi whauta uta ia pia me he ngahi esi kulo ko uiga la pita ko na nau ta anoa ki ai.
Iyo. Ai au kai ha me e Tonga re ka koe historia. Nge skulo ia he wheitu na uiko la pita i New Caledonia. Pea moerea a kau siaina na ngau ake he toko lahi i Taiwani. Ka koe sia koe a motua koe ni tau ene whango futupu e ko whaitakai he hua holo tau historia. Ke eha mea ia e taha tene tala mai ki au o ko e ko hau mei Taiwani.
Koia. Ko tau ko e whango fulu tupu ko ni he taini me. Ai ko mo me mea o ke tau ni mango fulu. Ko e ngahi ngau e whakatotolo fuoloa ia ka pau whawhihanaki ia ki he o kuui ko e longitude research he whakapapālangi i he whakasaini si. Ai ko tau e whango fulu tupu ko e ngahi tau lahi whakauria o ke hanga o mai a ngahi evidence o tau kakai mo tau historia. Pe hange ko ke lawe koe ane nai ko e sioane historia pe mi he fofonga o e Tonga. Kai koe fofonga e kau pālangi whamisinare mo e kau akademika.
Ia. Aia ko hono sai a historia na tohi e kau pālangi. Ko mau matai tohi ai tau toko kakai toko lai. Me Polinsia. I he mau PA ma a mo toke tā toko lai tau kau toke tā historia.
Koia.
Ko mau ia he historia ko ni tau o mai mei Taiwani. Ka koe siwa mo tō koe ni. Ha mea ko ai ha tau historia ke o mai mei Taiwani. Kai tuku e tau tala tuku whakaholo mo e tau civilise koe mea ia na e tonu ke whai ake hona whakatotoloi o tau historia.
Koia.
Koe tau tuku whakaholo na e pehehe e mātua na tau o mai mei vaihi. Ko vaihi koe whanua mamao. Na whaikea e whakataha kau whakatotolo ke ngai tau mai ko puhiri. Pea nau pehe ko vaihi ko tahi ko Hawaii pe ia. I kai. Ko nau hao ko vaihi ko whanua mamao. Aia ko Amerika ia he ahoni. Ko kakai o tau wāo whitaha. A civilization maulunga koeni i Amerika. A kau maia. Aia ko maui ko hao me maia me kau maia na ko kakai poto. Kau astalo noma kau sainisi.
Koia.
Pea mo kau Inca i South America. Yono wakai atu koe ki ai koe ofi tahaya ka tau tolu. Tonga mo Polinsia ai kakai koe ni. Pea mo nau civilise fu maulunga au pito. Aia ko hawhanua civilise. Ko whika uruaki he nau civilise ko nau tui lotu. E ko historia whanua civilise ko tope i mamani. Ko nau tui lotu ko ia na ne puke puke o nau historia. Pea koe vai pe holo pe e nau tui whakalotu ko e movete ia a civilise ko ia. Ka ko tau tolu ko civilise na tau o mai mo ia na tau tui ki he mama whakalau maari e na tau tui ki he toi tuu he mama whakalau maari e. Ka koe ahi mea koe ton koe ke tau wakai whakarereho tau historia. Ko mea ko aia ke o mai e kakai kehe mo tau kau toke tā ko mo kau maa. O hiki ho tau historia koe o mai mei Taiwani.
Koia.
ko whika ulangi peke te siwa tu, o teike tohi ho tau historia. E ko historia kone o tohi whetakai ai a kau muri mo tau kau ako, mo mahalo mo whanau mai peo, mo mea ai, koe lapita pi polo ko aia ka tau tolo.
Koia.
Koe hauia mei New Caledonia, mo e civilise, beheko to civilise, koe hauia mei siaina, o ngau ake rea astronosia.
Koia.
Ka koe mea ni ke tau kamata e whiawhini, iho tau historia. Koe historia tonga, tonu foki, ke tau kamata, i mei e tau mea kai.
Koia.
E tau rea, e tau civilise.
Koia.
E tau civilise, tui whakalotu, tui whakapolitikare, whakasosiare, whakasaianisi, pea moe whakaekonomika.
Koia.
Koe o mea aia. Ka kia hane lawe ana tā ki he historia koni o kuako i ai he ai kau wako o tau kakai.
Koia. O ko maari e whaka te au te vita whareho o whamatala. He ku koe ngai ta one ta whi au. Pea ke os whai polo kalamat ki mua mi he paenga Vake Tali Folau pea moe retio ma televisione Tonga ma ngai whai ke. Koe ne tō koe ki he ngahi mea whakasaini si o tala mai koe tau hau pea me i Taiwani. O ku ki i whihalaki a ngahi mea whakasaini si pehe uhi he koe o ku impossible pe o kai ke lava hau hakakai la lahi ma whangi kakai iki. Pea o ku pehe whaki he kasanihi o ku koe mutation, pe koe evolution, o tange koe ngahi whamatala whakawhiowhitaha ka pau na tau hau pia me Taiwani na challenge he kau molecular biology stolahi. Tonu ia ke mai ha tau ia me 100 million years, pia possible fe me ka okay, we don't have that yeah kai ke ha taimi fe ungai ki ai o fe halaki ai pena ta o mai me ai pea o ku mahina mai rewa hono aonga ke tau sio ka tau historia me te ki tau tolu tohi o tau historia pe ko ngawe ka whakawhai o ke whai he tau e whaanga futupu ko me ni manoa tau ho o whai ai ngai whakatotolo koe ni.
Ia, pako e whiawhini o whamo pe ke whoke tau mana tu ki Tonga.
Koia.
Ai kau Tonga na whamuri pe pehe pe ki Tonga. Tau kamata pe me he tau ke hiki hake lau tohi. Tau kamata he tau mea kai kuawa. Talo he tau ke hiki hake moe kai kuawa kua wenu kua ono motua. Kai ngalo iau e kua vāia.
Koia.
Pea koe toki ilo o waihi o Amerika ia he tā whāhi wā he kau pālangi. O si laka he tau e wāwhe ai mawahe mai tau kakai a tau tolu. Mei waihi ki Tonga toki mo where atau ki Porinsia.
Koia.
Ne wāo koe toki au hakau pālangi a ki ai o ilo kua wā koe a kau ia o Amerika, ko kai toha whaitu ia Porinsia he wāo ake kua wā.
Koia.
Ka koe a kauia o Amerika.
O tuku whakaholo atu ki Porinsia.
Ia ave ki Tonga he tau kakai, o mo where atu ai ki Porinsia he nā mo vete ana fo ia Porinsia.
Koia.
Koe ngai mea ke tau sio koe ilo whakaastalo no maa. Koe mea mahu i ngai ke tau kakai he nai lawa, na nau kei whetu taki pia nau tomo vai. A kau Tonga.
Koia.
Asia he uhingoa ngau eke he tau kakai mo u whetu i loa ai Mexico, Central America, mo South America. Toki hoko ai ngai kau ki mui kau ngau eke hingoa ai ai Tonga.
Te lawa aha ki whakatata, ha hingoa o ku ai ka whakatata ngai hingoa koia.
Ta whakatata ki peni a hingoa I loa e ua I Tonga. O tau historia. Ka Maui. Ko Maui, ko mai ia I he historia koe ni o Amerika. Ko e civilization maulunga au pito ia.
Koia.
I Amerika. E nau ilo whakastalo noma mo e umea ke heke. Ko hingoa hono ua ho tau historia ko Tangaloa. Ai ko Tangaloa ani ko nau haana e tuku whaholo mai e hatui o mai ke Tangaloa whamui mui. O hoko mai ke uraki tui tonga he whange au nimanoa.
Koia.
Ai ko Tangaloa. He mehe e taure a kono uhinga. Ai Tangaloa. Mei ho monga. Ha uai ki ho ngutu. Moho arelo. Ai ko tau tala tuku whakaholo ia. Ai tupu anga ia hingoa Tangaloa. Pea koe ngahi mea mahu inga koe ni ai kau Mayan, kau Inca, ma ka kai Amerika. O tongi he maka. O asai pe moe arelo ki tua. Koe Tangaloa ia. Ai o asi he whaiva ai kau. Kei tuku mai koe whakamui mueni a tau tolu ai kau Mauri. O whakaos ake ai whakate elero mai. Kono uhinga ia o Tangaloa.
Aia koe Tangaloa. Ua kutu ua ka gai tō lahi. Ko hiwa koe na e tā. Ai kawa kua heka. O kuhange ia koe Tangaloa e koha wheitu. Alu ki Tangaloa pia mō waihi. O ku maaria au pito ai ngahi whakatotolo koe na.
Ia, koe se koe tau whelawe ia koe. O tau tala tuku whakaholo. Ka tau kamata mai ena na ulawa e koe ki ai. Tau kamata hai kai kua wahe tau ke iki. Ke mahino ki he tonga ko toa o whanongo mai he whiwhin ke polokala ma na kai hata hai whakalaka he kai kua wahe.
Kai kua wa. O koe kau tā mai aku nau toe. Neongo pe koe nau ala nau toe whiha koe taula te volo. Ko osi ila e taula te volo. Neongo e koe ne sio pe ka whukua whitu ku alu e ki ai. Ko reka whakamutolu,
Ka kehe. Koe mea koe ke tau foki ki ho tau historia. Ua ave ke hinge skulo mo mea. Tau kamata he mea koe na tau tupu hake ai.
Koia.
He tau mea kai.
Koia.
Ane oko wai koe ke ta kamata he kai kua wā. He na kai kia hataha ia e whakalaka he kai kua wā. Koe tala noa pe koe ki he kai kua wā. Foki kātoa e tau mana tu. Pea ai ke mahino ki he tonga ko toa o whanongo mai he whiawhini. Koe kua wā, nai tupu ia mei waihi mei Amerika. O toki mafola I mamani.
Koia.
Toki mafola I mamani ku osi kua wā, wāo ata tongai a ke kua wā. Hano awe he tau whanga kui. Mei waihi.
Koe taha ngai whamooni ki o whakatotolo e te vita whare. Uhi koe asi koe ia I he ngahi tohi noa koe a Captain Cookie. Pea na e whalau mai whuka Captain Cookie mo e ongo tangata a Botany e toko ua. Pea ko naona na hanga o sketch koe a niu, koe kua wā, koe tā wā, koe kā wā. O vare nā tolu he nao mai ku na wanga maheni whuki sau te Amerika o sioku. O siai ai kua wā ia I Tonga, Tahiti. O siai pea mo e Kumala. Aia o nau ki oho vare, uhiu koe ne whamatala koa Captain Cookie, ne pehe koe whainga society ni o ku ikai ki tatau mu society koe ai kau intia koe na nau sio ai. He koe ngowe o whae ngowe o tō whaka otu. Pe koe api ko tō pe ukwai hangi koe ngatae. O ku whailonga pehe ka nau tōru, kai koe whainga society nia o ku pehe koe he wha aifoki koe primitive. Ka koe society nia o ku whumaulunga au pito ai ngahi ngā ue whaka ngowe moi mea tokoni koe nau ke lawi ki ai.
Koe tau mawahe mai me kai kua wā.
Koia.
Tau ki awhi o kai whainā.
Whainā.
Whainā, toki mowete mā mani, ka koe whainā, koe akahui o Amerika.
Koia.
Na hanga e Kolompusi, o tohi, koe pina. pia tohi he kau whakatotolo mai ki mui. Ko e anana.
Koia.
Ui tonga koe whainā. Ui he kau ha mua koe nana solo.
Nana solo. Oh,
Ai whainā.
koia.
Pea toki ave krompusi. Mo hoko mai ai kau whai Folau me Europe. Ai whainā o mo vete ai mamani. Ka koe a kau wia a kau tupu aia o Amerika.
Io. Whemua ke tā ki I mahalo he whaha ki commercial, ma tau fo I hiwa, ka koe ta whoki mai ko kore wha mole at whemua ke ki lawe ki waihi uigeng. He wai ka kai u te keke mahinu ka nau tolo e waihi. Pea tā toki hoko atu, ka rewa ke tuku atu ai hoa iki maha mata pūre, taritari ki mō tōlu whiawhia he loto hanga maari ke he polo kalama koe ni pia mō te vita whare koe tahafukia tāta whakatotolo I loa I ngā historia e Polinsia kau maafoki e tau te whito ki Tonga. Tūmoa ke o atu e ki whanongonongo e ua koe ni ma tau whoi whasi pia tau toki whoki mai.
La mai lolo palesi mo lolo francais ko tau pepe lolo me loto Hollywood seuke kai pe ko foi star at 5 koe te ke fai ka pakao angelo ko ko lo ye kau angelo hoek mo kai ngatonga mamani ko tau pepe ko lo kau angelo pe mahino leva ko loloni ko to ngai me hina lolo ala pasita amele maktaline le fatolonga mai atu ifia mo kakala iloa le furi me ot motuanga ofa ke guia ye pako langa karisi ale hei lala moho koi ka los pani pe ai foki pe mo blue maria mo kalasi ke he maria he ko taimi ko te ke mairi ai oa pe tane ne ke fahi e mere maktarine foi alabasta ko ene fakatau ele fika telefoni fitu no noa hiva malu fa ta fitu pe ko tolu wa tolu hiva valu fa noa hiva wa ko ya ta leva ke fika telefoni fitu ono noa hiva valu fa taha fitu pe koi tolu wa tolu hiva valu fa noa hiva wa ko talatu o kusi e kuleaka aku amu atu he kohono manongi tene ave koi ke vava mo mahina pe te ke maali kana si o fetu u pe mo faka isa tau lolo ala pasita kiai O kuke whaamohe misi nai kia o monu ke toko meilangi, tonga e. Ko taimi ko ke ngoi puputu ua he fie ma upa anga whakawawave, ko aku ikai ha tenali, ko e tali, monu meilangi. Tonga e, whewhe taimi u fie ma uai ki ave ki se ni te ki eua ka aku hala, pe hange ko siva e te amanaki, ko e tali, monu meilangi. Iyo, ko ho monu meilangi he koe whaunga. Malu ilewa aki hau ki kolo whakatonga, ho ki no whakawawave. Pea koe toi make he ku tawhi atu e munu meilangi o whai whatongia mai pea me funga whanua. Koe whakaiki ki o hala whanonga ke munu meilangi ke Bay Area, hiva hua nima taha valu tolu. Fika telefoni, hiva hua nima taha valu tolu. Pea ko hofe tak pe ke Facebook munu meilangi. Pea ke funga whanua ki eua. Fika telefoni, fitu valu, tolu wha noa ua, pe koe fitu nima, ua tolu, ua taha. Koe whanono reia me he monu meilangi loan and finance. Fika telefoni, hiva ua nima taha valu, nima taha valu tolu.
Whanongolele mai. Ai ka inga tonga o Bay Area. O ka pau o ko ki whema o ke tunha o ki puaka ke pangungungu, moholelei, Vake pike mawhana. Yum yum. Tā mai lewa ki he nimataha noa ni mawhitu o no hiwa o wata. Nimataha noa ni mawhitu o no hiwa o wata. No he ahoni ke tawhi ake o no sia, puputu e whakaukau, mai tū teke COVID-19, ake haki i puaka tunu. Ho oda, veke mālolo lele, tok pike vela mei haua. Puaka tunu, miracle phone number, nimataha noa ni mawhitu o no hiwa o wata. Aua, koe whanongonongoia me puaka tunu Pangungungungu Company Limited.
Bito hoi ki mo e hamata pule mo mea mai ki he polokalama lofa tamatangi I he fiafi whakakoloa ko ini. Ko au awha paulu ka mawho kia te vita whare. Pero hai kau sio ki a koe te vita whare ke ki mauha mari e whanau ke hiwa o lapaha.
Koe hiwa whau e whangakoi.
Koia. Koe ki mua bata break koia ki he commercial na e aia koe ngai whehui whikau aki mo vaiki. Vaihi, ka pau te ke kore whamole at pegi ke hao mua ato e wahe mai ai vaihi uhi ke mea I he mātanga ai whuirea ko ia mo ngai whei tuu ko ia pa ta tok whoki atu ki he whai nā.
Ko ia, malo. Ko vaihi ko tau tuk whakaholo ia. Nā pehe koe tau o mai mei vaihi koe whonua mamao. Rake hake pe I ata. Ko tau historia ko ata. Koe ata, koe whoirea ia e kau maien. Kurahi ono uhinga, ka koe uhinga koe ni o whiunga mo ata, koe fua whanua ia na nau raki tau ki ai, koe no uhinga koe ata. Pe koe first arrival, ko ata. Se koe whakahingoa koe ata, whakahingoa pe he kau mauri, he kau mai ki he kau maien, ai uhinga o e ata.
Ko ia.
E ko vaihi ko no uhinga ko e whonua mamao. Nā whai e whakataha ai kau whakatotolo ngai tau mai koe pa nau pehe ko vaihi nai uhinga pēa ki Hawaii.
Ko ia.
Ka ko vaihi he nau loki hake i Tonga mei havelu riku ki Haasini. O kuiai e uhingoa ai ko e uhingoa ia nai tauhingoa ki Amerika. O kauai pe ai ahau koe pe kauai mo e whaina. Koe whaitu i Haasini nai uia ko whaina.
Haasini.
Io. Ka ke koe no uhingai e vaihi. E whekumita kai holo nai kai ko hawhonua mama o Hawaii ia ki Polinsia. Ka koe na ulo hake i Tonga i ata pia ilo a Tonga tapu pia mo e ua pa nau hiki ki ai. Koe nau hiki koe ki Tonga tapu mei havelu riku ki Haasini. Koe whaitu koe ia koe uhingoa ai na tauhingoa pe ki vai, ki Amerika. Pia nau toe vahe tolu rewa nofo taha ki hihifo. Ai a kui ai a ahau.
Ko ia.
I hihifo. Koe ahau hono uhinga he rea ai kau maieni. Koe ahau koe tui. Pea koe taula eiki lahi. Pea koe kau taula ia koe i he tui lotu na nau nofo ki hihifo.
Ki ahau, eh?
Ki ahau mo hihifo. Ai ku ase he tautu whakaholo kopu lotu. Nofo maui i lolo whonua. Nofo a hatanga loa i langi. Pea kopu lotu na nofo ki ai. Nai pehe koe nei ai o tua i pulotu o tua koe o tau o e whonua o lau maari e ahiku reo koe reo pe.
Ai koe uhinga hiku reo.
Io, koe reo pe. Pa tau si o koe ni ke fuakawa ki he tohi tapu. Koe ulaki asi pe ia he tui ai kau hau koe na ai kau hepe lumo mea. Ko si hoa ia koe reo pe he. Na kai ke si o ke taha. Koe o tua ia koe kaito e ke he mai tui e ka whanga kui ki he whonua lau maare koe o tua ko hiku reo. Pena ia ko pulotu ai koe tō anga la au pe he koe o kutu a pulotu ko te hata ai au ki ai. Ko whanua lau maare a pulotu. Pea ko langi rewa ai ana e tu ui e wholaha longo teme i loto whanua ai. Nei ai koe na ulaki, na nofo ai kautanga loa na uia ko langi.
Ko langi.
Pea mai ki taime ulaki tui tonga. Pea koe whaitu pe na e tui tonga na ui ai sia koe pe na langa ko langi. Pea hiki mai rewa ai taula te wo. Koe taula eiki ia. Ka hake ange loto whakaristiane. Pea ui rewa e kau taula ia koe a tau tolu o loto mua. Koe taula te wolo. Kai taula eiki kau parangi. Sa kehi koe mea koe ke tau sio koe ki ai. Ko tupu ulu aki. Nā tupu ia i he loto mua. Peko loto motua.
Ko ia.
Pea hau mai kona tau tolungo fu tupu. Pea toki. Liriu pe me tui e loto mua ke loto mui ai ko loto mui fokia ko e loto whakaristiane ia.
Ko ia.
Pea koe nau pea koe lolo whanua rewa ai koe maalunga koe o hatanga loa koe maalunga taha ia na wiko ko langi. Pea koe lolo whanua rewa pea koe lalo whanua na nofo ha maui ki hake ia. Pea kuke ui pea whetu ea ui koe ha maui. Aia koe ha maui upehe koe na nau nofo i lalo whanua pea tohi he kau whau historia toko lahia under the land. Ka pui kai, koe whaitu upe ia i hahake, nai no whai ha maui. Aia nai ui koe ko lolo whanua.
Koia.
Kai te, koe nofo koe ia, koe whaitu koe ni nofo ai ai kau maui, nai ui ai whaitu ai ko vaihi. Pe whaitu e ua i hapai nai ui ko vaihi. Pe whaitu e tahai wawau nai ui ko vaihi. Hono ilo koe ha moa, pe whakahingoa rewa matulahi koe i ha moa ko vaihi ia i mei Tonga, ka e au mai kongi muku mafuri o Savai. Pe ilo Hawaii, pe aui Hawaii mei Tonga ko vaihi. Aia koe matulahi a koe Hawaii na whakahingoa ia ki vaihi.
Koia.
Kai ke koe mega ke mahino ke tau kakai. E o kai ko Hawaii e nei o iai moe vaihi i New Zealand. Me iai moe vaihi i Tahiti. Koe uwhakahingoa ka atoa ia ki he whanua koe ne behena tau mai mei vaihi. Ai ko Amerika ia.
Koia. Maari e nam. Ko sio ku hoik mo ha mata pule mau honga ia ha mo tu time ke mo me mai ki he programa e fia fini ko te vita fare ko sio asima mo reka mila paha ai taula te volo te kai ke to tongi hono mo wa ke te ko time be ke te atu no mo o fat ke taula te volo mo ki mo tolu ko to pe mo me mai ki he programa i he fia fikoni mo ekipe mua ka mo share te tau programa pe aku tola he mo tolu o ko silo ia ia mo manatu ile rei e mea ko kai kwava pe mo e faina ni ko faina fo ko vava o re a ke faina vava o ene meri hange ko toki ta ni fo ko ne toki ha una alo ki Tonga ha pai pe mo vava o ne tala no ma pe ki he meri o e faina ko hoka tu ko ke
Ia, waka sea koe whainā, ai pe ke tau i loi, koe whainā koe akauia o Amerika, pe toki mo where mamani.
Koia.
Na toki au mai kau pālangi ia, i he tawhāhi waua i Amerika, ko osi kai whainā ka atoa o tumot porinsi a ia. I he whainā, koe mea ke tau i loi. Koe ngai mea na tonu ke whakatotolo e koe tau historia, ai tau civilise, mea kai u tau kai, poko e hau mei whe. Ka ko whaamu ke manatui he tonga kotoa o ku whanonga mai. Koe kuawa, koe akauia Amerika. Koe whainā, koe akauia o Amerika. Ka koe tau hoko atu ki he resi.
Koia.
Koe resi, koe akau moia o Amerika, pea toki ma fola i mamani.
Maari.
Ke se ke tau nofo mo tau historia he. Kai o mai nge skulo ia. Ke whakatotolo ia ke ho tau historia. Ka tuko mea to ton na ton ke whakatotolo ia ke ho tau historia. Koe u a kau mei me koe a kau fua kotoa Tonga. Koe omi mei vaihi. Mei Amerika, ki Tonga. O mai he tau whangakui. Pea, kono tonuia, o ana ato e hau ha muri, o tala mai ho tau historia ka tau tolu. Ai ke tau ilo i ho tau historia, ho tau tupuanga, koe umea kai koe na toki mafola ki mamani i he 1500, ko osi ua whi i tau ia i polinsia. E o mai e tau whangakui.
Koe o Māori e koe manatu me rie pe nia aku. Pea ko manatu i he ku lere ki uiha ki he ku kui. Na ei ai mango ai ke pe mango kai matana e whaui koe mango kalasini. Pea ko manatu i mau pe taimi hau ai e ku kui ki Havelu ka mautolo o kune hau mau pe mo ki fu mango ki avato. Pea nane o mai e ki fu mango e tolu o toho mau uta i hauloto o gofikiria hona. o ku lalahi hake ngai fu mango tolu ku manatu e tamahe o kui. Toi fu mango koe ni o na mōtā, hiae aho te mōka iai, pia e kai iai ho mō whanau, mō whangamongo puna. Ai koe whahinga urunganga o e Tonga, koe taimiko aloi ka wheitu ukune to i ki fu akau, pe koe fu unonu, pe koe hapenga hi akau whaito, pe koe akau kai.
Ko ngai mea utonu ke tau hoko atu. Koe mei ho mau api koe toho e kukui.
Ko ia.
Pa mau kai ai. Ko au wehe mau, whangamokopuna e mau kui, na aku tō e mei. Ko hono toe, ka iaha tahaiten to e tō hafu mei. Toki ilo pe, mei he kumi holo e kofe ke tori mei. Ka kehe koe, ngai mea koe ke tau iloi, koe re si, koe o mai mei Amerika, o toki mafola i mamani. Pea ua ngalo ia tau tolu. Tau ki takai hake o kai a pere. Koe a pere India. Na ui, no hingoa taha, koe sour sop.
Ko ia.
Koe akauia mei South America. Pea moe a pere taha, na ui ko a pere Tonga, fo iki a kai merie. Na ui pehe kaupalangi koe sweet sop.
Ko ia.
Ka koe akauia mei South America.
Koe mea ko maare iai i ho whamatala e he te wita whare. Uhi koe ngai fo i akau koe ni oku ke whamatala ki ai. Koe industry koe na oko iai, koe ngai products o ngahi me iai. Han koe sour sop o ku kau ia he ingredient o ngau e lahi pe aku mamafa. Ai ingredient koe ni. Ka pau ku te waitai meniu na wha. Tuhifo ai a maun ki lalo hiu fu mamafa au pito. Sour sop. Pea o kai ke ngata eika ku mantufu hanga mi lanu hine hina. Pea koe te aipe ke te hanga mix moha whainga fruit kehe pe te hanga manatu uhi he koe whi akau o ku mālohi. Tene whahanga mau kapau te whi maa ki tai ke look like a blueberry. Pa te tokanga hano ngawa e ki uhi he tene liriu e ia ai.
Mālohi
Iyo. Pea koe kai ke ngata pehe ngai mea koe ni ka koe hangi koe a pere India. Koe lahe o kune hanga tuhifo ai suka toto maalunga. Pea lerei mohono kiri, pea mohono lau ki he kansa. Aia koe whakaukau ni a aku uhi koe tawhaaku whakasai ni si. Aia ne hanga pehe tau whangakui o mai e ngahi a kau ki tau mau mea tokoni me ai, pea utatoni ke ne hanga pehe whakalerei e tau mo ui lerei.
Ia koe tau no ruruka tau tō na kai ke aha mahaki whakatū tā maki. Toki o ange kau pārangi, ange mea le rei pe te angai mo mea koe pika. O tau puke ai.
Monla.
Koe aho ni ko tau puke he soka moe. Kai toi hama tato maalunga. Koe ngā ue a mea kaina mo kau pārangi.
Peu hange ku tau sio tatoi ki ngahi mea tokoni whatunga motua ai Tonga. Hange koe mea nau tupu hake ai a mea koe hoho. Ka mea mea koe sāpati ko tau peu pau keu ai hoho. Koe vaisi aine ko ai mau pe vaisi aine me koe weekend ko toa pe he oku koe vaisi aine o maari uhi he oku koe taimi koe oku te langoa e si aine koe taimi e koe oku maalohi ai hono iwi ke ne hanga tu hifo ai suka toto maalunga kawai mui kansa ka oku iai whaahinga unau tamai na tau fu merie koe suka oku kehe a natural suka pa mui refined suka oku na kehe au pito. Nā tau tupu haki whoki Tonga i he suka kula. Aia o ku uire vaia i Amerikani he tai nimi koe brown suka. Koe suka ia o kutotonu ke nā tau ngawe aki. Uhi ke ilahi ai vitamin C mo antioxidant power koe o mea. Koe taimi ko alo ai ko suka hina. Pea koe te step ia taha kui koe powder suka. Koe suka ata peo pa koe uhinga kou te mau mea takoni mea i pea lere wahoto suka ki o lunga. Ai au tonu ki tau whoki ngai mea takoni tau whangakui o tau ilai peo tau historia. Peikai.
Io, tonu foki e tau ilo. Ko mea koe ko pehe koe ne te ke tohe o tau historia. O mai e nge sikulo ia mo e rea e kausia ina. O tohi ako tau historia. Ka ia mea taha e mei tonga. Koe pe ki aonga nge sikulo. Koe kumi aki koe hae motua. O timeline. Ka koe omi koe ke mea kai. Koe tau historia ia uton ke ai mehe mea kai. Tau kai mehe tau civilise. Aia, na kau foki ai, kau e apere ia he mea mo vete lahi. Koe whetuku he whangamanu puna.
Koia.
Mo tangata. Koe apere tonga, ki vai vai. Nei kai pehe, kai ke tupu ia hange koe apere intia en maalohi ene tupu.
Koia.
E whetuku ke. Kake, koe ongo a kau lo uaia, koe om lo uaia, me South America, ki Tonga.
Koia, pa pehe e risita kafo atu vea, ko vaihi kou tu i haa pai ko whare loa masani, ya. Maari e ta maari sita.
Kake, tau ki mawahe mai mehe, apere India mo apere Tonga. Tau ki a whea he lalo a kau koeo, tuwhi vaine ai ke tau kai vaine.
Koia.
Koe vaine Tonga, ai koe vaine Merie.
Koia.
Aia, koe vaine Tonga na e ua kalase taha na e kirimolu, pa kalase taha na whopotopoto, whewheka.
Koia.
Ongo vaine molu Merie au pito o pito ia. Pe ai moe u kalase kehe vaine, pe a mai ke pasione, na ui katoa pe nautori Amerika, koe pasione.
Pasione.
Ka koe ke loipo ka tau mao e vaine mei whe a hingoa.
Maho, piko e hao me kau misinare.
Koe ngai me ke tau sio ki ai ki he aonga o e akau pe mahino ka tau tolo tau historia na e oange he tau whanga kui o akau koe ni mei Amerika. Koe akau e Amerika. Kai toki mo where mamani. O kau ai koe vaine a kuma.
Vaine a kuma. Ia ko mantu e vaine a kuma.
Whanki mea e ki kau meri e whoki.
Koia.
Koe ange ka atoa ia mei Amerika. Ke whanongo mai ai whanau, pau ia whahinga u teke nau whanongo he vaine. I Tonga, maharo koe Tonga tapu ia, si ke te ase vaine ia koe mate, tamate koe a kau lalahi he ngoue.
Koia.
Nai tupu ai vaine o kaka no mo ui wholoa ai.
Koia.
Mahalo koe lahi tape vaine e maui, tonga tapu e maui e ki eua. Nai koe tonga tapu ia, koe te hawa o tā ai ai.
Koia. Whewhe ai ngahi pasione koe ni utau wanga maheni ki ai Tonga.
Kātoa
Ngahi pasione lalai.
Io, kātoa pe koe, o mai kātoa pe ia. Mei South America pasione. Ka kui kātoa pe koe pasione. O wage lope mau he tau kakai e vaine mei whe. Ai hingoa ui koe vaine.
Koia. Koe mea ne taha ko hanga whātonga i nei utupua ke moia. O ku nei lahe o mau ulu kalospani. Pea nei ai mau peho no pare, o ku tō whakakaka ki ai e pasione koe ni. Pea koe mea ko mana tui. Fo i pasione ko tō pe o shanghau tātai ki o tohi. Koe ulaki pe o ku ulaki alo e pasione ki he ne ke mau mehikitanga. Kau kai mo whangataroa, pa toki ka aha toenga pa ko mautolu ia. Koe whainga ulunganga na o tupuha ke o sia whangatamai ai polo e nau ngai mea ko toa pe.
Whangatu whawhine.
Koia.
Tanga mehitanga.
Pa ko mau mea rewa ku whai kono kumi ha pasione o ku asivo fufu ia whaitu. Uhina e toi tohi atu e ka tahka mauhala mautolu.
Kake koe mea ia ke tau seo koe ki ai. Mei koe a kau kātoa. Kai Tonga. Koe ange kātoa ia mei Amerika.
Koia.
Tau ki wakaiange ki he miti te mata. Nai ui koe te mata Tonga pe koe te mata wao.
Te kai ki e lo te mata.
Kake he, koe te mata koe a kau moi au Amerika. Ta toki mo where. O nau kolosi holo mau wai mo te mata fola lahi mo mea ko ia. Ka ko tonga ia ngai kau ko he tupu hake. Ia e feitu ia kono o sipe hono tutu teu ke he tupu e ke toa i hangoue. O sipe hono tutu uraki tupu te matai te ke tupu hangoue i hai. Ke se ke ma fola a kaui e polinsia laua fei tau pe toki au mai kau palangi ki Amerika. Ka koe te mata kono tupu hangaia mei Amerika.
Koia. Ai koe taini mifo ku mea umare ko fofua sio ko he te mata vao. Kai ki ngata pena toia e mautolo mauta. I Costco. Ko whakatau ni a lahi au pita whanki peke tola e ono tola e fitu ai whanki te mata fo. Ku saifo ke sālati. Kai u te kai a tāpe ki taia.
Tau ki wakaiange ke sia ine.
Koia.
Aku pewoki nai toki o mai he kau pālangia ai sia ine ki Amerika. Ka nai o sia ipe sia ine he koe plantain banana. Aia koe pata ia.
Koia.
Moi hopa mo. Mo sia ine Tonga. Se koe umea ia nai o si uipe i Tonga, ko umea Tonga. Saine Tonga, pata Tonga. Koe umea kātoko ia nai uraki Tonga pe ia.
Talo Tonga.
Se koe saine Tonga. Ta toki ne maare ia so i fuia ko whakahingoa au ki Britania.
Koia.
Nau i koe saine whakahingoa ia ke nau tiu ke nau tolu e saine.
Koia. Ka pau ki kore mai mātanga ka pau te ki uno ki ofi ke mai ka he ku uhige re ola heat ka nau tolu. Ka tātou mai mōre.
Kake koe saine koe anai ui he kau pālangi koe plantain. Na e kai kauia he mea kai ai kau maeni. Ai plantain.
Koia.
Banana. Ka koe pata o ui he kau Mexico ui e tau tolu Tonga ai pata Tonga. Ui e nau tolu koe ice cream banana. Ai pata Tonga.
Koia.
E ko kalasi ke foke pata. Kai ke tauilo koe pata Tonga ku ui he kau Mexico mo Central America koe pe pata ko ice cream banana.
Ice cream banana.
He ku hina le rei foke kakano e pata.
Koia. Ku hoi ki muhama tā pūre o koe pata eni u tā noa ki ai u kai ko where mea ta oa te moanga ke tolo ki where mea.
Kake koloa pe kuia historia ta ufonua.
Koia. Se ke ka pā e whakaosi aki ai niu pe ta tūrewa ki commercial mahau koe te kai ke mahino pe e whai ka pau he kai ke lawa mai a Sione Alatini te tatau e hokat pe. Ke ki hokat ke niu, pa tatau ki commercial break e mo tau whuihiwa, pa tatau ki hokat.
Koe niu. Ui be whoke e tau talatu whakaholo a tau tolu ke he niu i Tonga.
Koia.
Kau pe whoke koe niu ia, koe hau. Pea ku nofo pe ia tala e tau tolu ia nei Tonga pe ia. A niu.
Koia.
Koe mai koe whakamamani lahi. Koe niu ia, nau pe he, koe hau ia mei. Southeast Asia kaua mo Filipaini mo mea.
Koia.
A niu. Kake ko, mai mea ke tau ilo e tau mea kai tonga ko whewhetu na e o mea iai. Mahino ai e whefolau aki ko e tau kakai. O pehe koe koe o mai e niu ia paku nau pehe koe kalasi e niu i vai hi. Na tuko mai a na kai ha niu i vai. Koe mea ia kau ia tau historia koe ave niu me Pasifiki ki Amerika. Ai koe umeena, koe moa, koe puaka, koe niu. Koe umeena ave e tau tolu mei he Pasifiki ki Amerika.
Koia. Koe niu o ku maari e niu foki. ko e fofua, ko e ngahi mea whakeno kamata ke tālanga I he tainimi. Ko hea uhinga uka ke whakahingo ai e ngahi u akau kotoa pe a kia taha polinsia. Pea ko e I he whakasai ni si, ko hai pe tene fofua o identify ai akau ko ia pe o kui le vai hono hingoa. Whakasai ni si, hangi ko e niu, o kui whukia ko e Cocos nucifera. Ko e tau taha koe nani fofua identify ia pe a whakasai ni si, ko e tau taha ko Carlos Laneas, pe o koe pe a L I he, osko e Cocos nucifera. Aia o ku mahino mai ia, neongo ku identify ia e Carlos Laneas, mahalo ku tau ia tāwhia ki mua ai, ngau e ki he tau whangakui. Pea koe mea neo maari e koe nonu koe na whaangau e aki koe he kukui, whakataha pea inu pea moe niu, ku whakataha ia he ploda kou na aku hanga whao kui koe nuku hiwa. Koe uhinga e kuhangai o e te ai niu, koe mea na au sio na e whaafai he kukui. Ko te sia lewa ki he whakasai ni si, koe mahu inga koe huhua I niu, o ku tatau pe ai hua I niu pea moe vaisiriwa. Pea kono whakamooni pau koe taulahi koe hono ua, taimi koe nau run out te ai vaisiriwa he Pasifiki, na nau ngā akirewa ai fo I niu. Io, ai kuna e hanga po tere I pe tawhaki ke maa foki, pea whakahu ki ai, pea ai pe o hai pe o lunga, pea whakatafe hipo alu ke heu koe taimi koe te hanga whakawhihoa naki ai vaisiriwa moe niu, kakena kehe ki naua ia. Aia koe vai maataha ia he mamani ai niu. Pa te shau dewa ke niu o kulelei ke he tuhifu ai suka, toto maalunga, pea moe ngahi umea ke kai mea maari o kuiai e suka o ngahi pea mehe niu. O ko te alko whakatau e suka koe au, mamawhange ia I he suka kula, pe koe suka brown suka, pe toi mamawhange ia e suka hina. Koe suka ia o ngahi pea mehe niu. Ke te alpe ku ngahi u section koe ku more natural, ngahi u wharekolohan ko winko o ku whakatau wai. Walmart o ku iai, ko Costco o ku iai. Ai ku mahino mai lewa, nai rea Dr. Samway I he wawhi hongo fluhe ule rea tuki Tonga ne pehe he totaha koe ni. Koe ngahi u akau whai to'o o I kakai Tonga o kui heni pe ia I Tonga. Ka au totonu ke tau whekumi ki ai, pea ngau e aki. Ai e tau te foki pe o ako tau historia he ngai mea tokoni, pea tau ngau e aki ia pea e kaurere ia ka tau tō.
Sainga pe ai mea e kau pālangi, ke lahi e pe tau wholofo e kau ke suka.
Koe ma polo kalama koe pea mo Dr. Kingilangi, o ku mahanga o ko uhiko ngahi u evidences whakasai nisi. Ke tau foki o poupoui, ke tau foki o mau mea tokoni me ngahi mea tokoni e tau whangakui. Pea tau wau e tau ki fo I niu o tatau ka oua e toi ngā ake meo neisi mo ngahi mea ko ia. Neongo e nei fo ke whainga ni. Pua pau te tau foki e pa ne os wha mo ni e ngahi u whatatolo whasai nisi kakaito lahi. Koe taimi ko te whoki ai ko o kai a ngahi plant-based, ai koe mea koe tau whangkui, lahi pe whaipa se ai mo ngahi u mea ke. O ku automatic pe ai lerei ai holo e sino lerei, mo rea te pa mo suka mo toto maarunga pe a mo ngako ko ia he toto. Koe ki tānaki at pe ia.
Tau ki wakaiange ko tau mawahe mai me pe woko e hopa ia, koe tupuanga e koe Tonga I kai. Koe hopa koe o mai pe mo iai me Amerika. Mei waihi ki Tonga. Koe avoka. Ko mana tui he eko KCCE. E fu avoka na tupu he loto. Wao tā o whiatu ki toloa. I pere hake. Api na ngou e kukui. Koe api risi o lo sin kolo matangi mei mua. Mau whamiri pe. Ki he tupu e fu avoka I he fu loto mori Tonga. Au mahina ka fu avoka e motu au pito. Koe avoka koe a kau mohi au Amerika.
Koia.
Pe toki mo where i mamani. Pe ko e api e kui. Mātua e kwhinegi. Nei fu avoka e uai. Ko mau a pipia mai toa avoka. Hono aonga ki he mea kai.
Koia.
Tau toki o mai o kai e patamo e meaka koe mea to tonu au tonu ke tau kai.
Avoka ko manatu i lere avoka koe tōua ko mehitanga koe maufu avoka la lahe ua. Nei tu he apuaka. Kore pe hufanga he whakatapu ka maa whoke e talamalu e whonua. Pe koe tu uning ko tā pege ai fui avoka. Ngai fui avoka la lahi whoke. Ke he ia pe moe avoka kou tau maa e tainua whaki mea iki. Koe ne momoho pe a te hangarewa wau katoa ai kakano. Pe a tā ia pe koe ohi e ke molu. Pe a aike ki mi masi si ipe. Pe a wari akia e ne pata. E ne maa koe he pongpongi. Koe hangi ha pata koe ke maa. Kai sai tumu akita ki i alwe ka ngai foi whanongonongo ma tau foi fasi pa tau toki foki mai.
Oku ke te tau moau, o sea te ahu mo wike mo mahina mo e tau koe tau tatau waipe. Hau pe paanga mini te ua he te akauni ko puri atu mo e kailai pe, poho e. O walewa e sio pe ka kua yaa, o walewa lue ta e tokanga, o walewa e siwa amanaki. He koe whaito o poho e, koe ta alewa ke sinta, walu noa walu, tolu walua, hiwa ua tafitu. He te mo whitaaki ni ma palani au paanga ke tupu pe tupu o tupu. He koe ne viso ne ke ngawe mai paanga ma au whamiri o lau i tau tangata aua. Fika telefoni, walu noa walu, tolu walua, hiwa ua tafitu kia sinta. He kohono ola, te ke tok peherewa, ko te tika taha e ni tau wifo e mo ui. Fika telefoni, walu noa walu, tolu walua, hiwa ua tafitu, ko sinta reike ni mai ia.
They love now offer for Valentine's Day, birthday, anniversary day, Mother's Day, Christmas Day, Death Day, Boxing Day, and every day.
Oh my no, I'm for doing a day for me.
Ogo for ma oke fatang mai si ready ko to ape that may unique gift.
Ogo to e frekoga ife.
Asia i hota follow. Ogo ya me ko Facebook live bidding. O fire you have to sit and fight ko to ape time you know if you Pacific time. Ya for hoko ni Facebook aliria ni muti. Ko e mali ta hai fo ngani. Ke te ma o class ke he si ready. Me ngai mama how vesa ka hoa seti be kai seti. Koula fon koula. Black Tahitian pill ka hoa nge esi fingota ko ta ingo say etc. O fie ma o ya ke o kawa he ta utumua. Ye fiafi tu sit and fight ko to ape time you know if you
Fese abau kofi ota speso e au ia hatinia. Ofa ta ke he fe ingoa te teu ia ke foi pesi to ke lau fere toa. Pe fa vai aki ai fe pesi manuloa. Pe kofi ma o ke iai ha o fe mama fe ka hoa mo ha fe ha o porwa. Mo fra mapa aki ai fe Black Pearl of the Hiri.
Oh, to ta omi etika ia ko ho fe poto he fa kau. Ta telefoni, ke fika telefoni, walu no walu ngeau, ta fa ni menima, oke ota leva ai ngai me ko ya ke mau. Ko e unique gift ya ba me aloha len. Walu no walu, ono no ta fa ni menima. Ko e taimi ko fa ho ka Facebook live bidding, tai yo no if ya fitu site, mo e flight te ko to ape. Aloha from Unique Gift.
And now we shine it bright like diamond. Talking about hey now, hey now, I go on it. Chucking more fina, anane. Chucking more fina.
Ko kai hamu may tungatap. Ala si okay ngay Amerika. Mukatak fitutaki ki Vake Tali fifataw aki. O tutongi may mua haki foi hotdog. Ikapay ka. Kanatiliva may nautol kiyaw. Te o kapao te ikima o huwahe. Te ki arte ikoy hokolo fatonga. Ki ay haki ino ikaw tahano ay Vake Tali fifataw aki. Ki tutongi may aki kiki. Kagitok tata. Kolope ki sima o haki kiki sapate. Ko siga telefoni ay Vake Tali fifataw aki. Ko ni matahanoa, ni mafituono, hiwawo wata. e nau tiliva hanga ton malte ke hoplo to fale masiva e kai ke te finga ki kolo ko fika telefoni ni matahanoa ni mafituono ki bawa wata ni matahanoa ni mafituono ki bawa wata te tali tali atu pe o ko ofatu me kai hamu me kanatea tonga tapu
whamalo maalunga pika te motolu e hoi ki moe haa matapure, moe tonga kotoa pe mea mai I he ngalu ea, pe moe ngalu o pe. Application ko ia ai Vake Tali Folau, kau maa whauki ai dial-up, pe moe website ko ia ai Vake Tali Folau. Pe ona ngalo o ku live ai pe moe YouTube, pe ai waven mai pe e iai ai platform ke he ua e lava o live atoa ngai polo kalama ai paenga Vake Tali Folau. E te wita whare o ku ai ngahi whehu ina e ke mai ke te au aneafi. Ka pau te ke lava o ki I ke tau tānoa koe ke he mani o ke, pa ke ki I whamatala mua ki he mātonga. He koutui o koe whahinga te kai ke nau kaina tolu he mātonga. Neu kai ai mātonga I uiha. Pea koe pe u ki whakaire ila ki he mai. Koe te ke vahe mai.
Koe mani o ke. Ma fola I ma mani, pe lahi hono ave hingoa koe kasava.
Koia.
Ka koe mani o ke, koe akau moia o Amerika pe toki ma fola I ma mani, o hoko koe mea kai he feitu ke. O kui ai e vahe whanua I South America, o kui pe ko mani o ke. Ka koe mea koe nau ke lave ke ai kau ki he manioke tama. Kui ai e tau hingoa maalunga I Tonga koe tamare.
Hingoa whakaiku, pua hingoa matapure.
Hingoa matapure.
Koia.
Ai tamare. Ko hingoa ia mea kai ai kau mai ene mo Central America. Ko ono ai koe koane. Koe hange ha maua. O kofu ai mo kiki loto pe toki kofu ake lai siaine pe koe lai tahana ngau ke kofu ake pe lai koane. Hafure koe koane.
O whakatau hene mea koia tamare.
Ai tamare.
Koia.
Ai a koe mea kai tau. O ku kofu. Ko hono mea pe kai te ku mahalpena e wha ai beha tau. Kai ngā ai e kiki loto pe toki takai ake. Ai koutui e lava le rei o ngā ua ke mani oke. E koe tamare ko no ngā koe kofu mea kai o tau.
Koia.
Koe mea ia taha ke tau iloi. Koe o mai e tau whei o mū mei whe. Koe whei o mū nei ngā ua gia he e kau mai en I Amerika. He tau e nau mea kai. Kofu aki e ai pia tau aki pehange kono tau. Ngā ua ke lai koane. Ai koane kone hafure koe koane. Pia moe lai siaine pe koe pata o tau. Kana nau e nau tolu ia koe pipi. Pia tau ui e nau tolu poninsia. Koe umu. Ka koe pipi, koe whaunga ngā ue ia ai kau Maori, ai kau Maya mo ai kau India I Amerika.
Ko Inca ia.
Ia, Inca koe kau Mayan, rahi e o Matakari.
Koia.
Koe kofu e mea kai o tao, ai koe uhau mea hingoa ai tamare I Tonga. Kai hei koe tau ai whoke a mātonga ia, au aia behange o whakapala, au no ki ina namu ona, kai ke sai ai tau ia ki lalo ka koe mātu aia, sai au pito pe whoke a nau tau nau, kai a ke nau tau e nau ilo.
Koia.
Ko tau tau kai a pe whoke tau tau e tau ifo. Ka koe whei umu, koe o mai mo e tau ka kai mei waihi ki Tonga. Ko nai ui e nau tolu koe pipi, pe koe pipi, o kui ake a ka ue ua I Tonga, koe pipi whai lolo mo e pipi whai ake tui, pe toi ngā ue ake ke hingoa e kakai. Ai pipi.
Yeah, PPN na go whātonga e koe i au lahi,
Kai e koe, ngai mea ke tau ilo i koe, e u mea lahi a tau tolu. Kau ta kei tāno me whuken ke he mani o ke he tau mea kai.
Koia.
Koe u mea kai Amerika kātoa ia, na awe tau whanga kui, mei waihi ki Tonga. Ia koe, lahi whoka wako ia, pa tāla ia, ai u mea ke. Tau whoki ke he tau tuku whakaholo, mo tau civilise, kumea ke tau historia, oua, o mi pe kau pālangi ai nau lau, pa tau o ai, he nau me nau tō mo nau ufonua ka kai koe nau ki civilise nau tō kei mui au pito ia.
Koia.
Tau si o ben ki Amerika, ka uia he loa he ahoni, tau e uange au tupu. Amerika, ko tau whea tau tō he tau e ua whe tupu, he?
Koia.
Ko tau whonua, tau civilise, mo tau whonua e pure tui mo mea ka tōko ia. Ka koe mea be whoki, ka tō haka mo tua tonga ke whaha ngā ue hange o tukuluma ke he tau kakai. Ai pe he tō fupeha no ngā hai ake hangai kau koe, e ku whai koni whakau, ka wau whoki e ku pehe pēo ke whai mea, ha whahinga mea, whakapiko e lau mai a tahaia. He kwai ki hau ha tahaia whawhanga au.
Koia.
Whai pe au e ku ngā ue, ko mea ko loto ke whai, te whai pe ia. Kai ke he, ko mea nei whinangalo, ai tamatu ui, sa nuare walono, ke whakakala ake au neonga u tae tau mo e whatongia koen, ko whai atu pe ki he lelei taha, ai to unga o kuia e ngā ue ki o tau historia.
Koia. Pea o ku mahau inga whakaho ngā ue, koe ka paute ke ka tak mua vai vahe a website, pea mo e uhi ke lava o mea ke ai mātanga, pea nau laua i aho ngā ue, he tuputupu a pe ne nofu ai pea hoko ia ko hako anga ke whanau.
Koe website, koe tevita.ha.fale. Pea koe ku foundation ni koe Polynesian Ice Foundation koe non-profit.
Koia. Aia koe Polynesian Ice na o ku ki i ho kahoa.
Iyo.
Ki whaka ase nge ke mea mai ki ai mātanga ke he.
Koe
Ai pui ki olunga nge.
Koe fwoi design ni e o ko whehau ia mau pehe ka kai he nau si ho kahoa.
Koia. Pate tiki tātaha ki olunga si koia. Koia ke mea lele mai ki ai mātanga.
Koia koe design pe a ako. Koe katoa e tau civilise o whao e fwoi design koe.
Māri.
Koe ware lahi e nea u whaheu te kia tahai e tonga e whao ane. Whahane ngā ue pa hanga pe ia whao ane u mea. Sa kehe, koe ngā ue ku lahe mea ke pāki, ka koe vai whakase ni ti koe mea tu ai ai.
Koia. Pea koe ngai mea whakenu mahu inga hangina tā lawe ki mua ke lava tuku mai ha ngai mea lahi ki he ngai u university, he ngai library. Uhi koe tau tangata koe te nao mai pe koe hotau kakai, pe koe kakai ke hawha ngai whikumi te nao lava mau mea ngai u information.
Koe mea lahi pe ke sio pe iai tau kakai, kakai o matua tua, kai ke ngalo ena tolo e kai kua wama, kai resi, kai whainā, pea moe whanau, ke nau iloho tau historia, kai ua o mai peo tala mai koe tau mai me Taiwani, pa tau tu atu peo tari, ai ha tau lau, e ko historia tau tolo.
Koia. Mahu inga upito. Sabi gata ki break fra osi commercial maha tau fo hiwa, pa ta tok fok mea fra osi e lewa e ta programa he pōni.
Ia, wawofa.
Ho iki mo hama tā pūre, o ku honga ka tik mau ha mo mea mai mo tuku taimi, tu mo ke vai te ngai whanongonongo, o ki nau tōlu ku nau Anga ofa o ngā ke paenga i Vake Tali Folau, ke nao ngai pisinisi, pe alawa lewa ke whahoko mau ngai whatongia ke teki mong tolu.
Toko, kuang kofi wang he kalhan, faan pe ya ya ke kike sapate. Oh, orai hau family Amerika? Iyo tokolahi au pite. Tagi family ave fika vava runners, ononi manoa to noa fit ni menimata. Tinau lava totongi Amerika. Te au pik e au i vava uni o tiliva ki homo api i vava uni.
Hawe malo au pito toko. Te tālewa ki a mātolu he taimini.
Ko ia ai ka inga tonga i Amerika. Tā lewa ki he vava runners ki he ono ni manoa to noa fit ni menimata. O totongi haki ikiki pe koha shopping pe ki he lolo a halai walu ka maulele ki mautolu o tiliva ki o nā ngahi o tupale. Heu pehe pe whatawhata maa whanā ia. Vava runners, telefoni, ono ni manoa tau noa fit ni menta. Only in Vava.
O ko vei lai ko e nuku hiwa. I kai, ko e vai nonu ia e tau whangakui o katoa ia ono aho mo no pōni pe whakasai nisa ahono ngā hui he e kuinu ngō fua ahono anga. Pea taha awhe nimangi au ahono mamana. Seuke, pea toi whakaatu i foku mo hono katawa. He ko hono ao ngā ko tāgi tahi pea tāgi uta no ngā ia suka, ngā ko e toto, mo e toto mau olunga, saigi ai arthritis, kauti pea moe kahi. Pea whakatau pasi ai e mafte fua ata mai moe iwi lahi. Kai whanaafi ai ai mo uilelei he ko hono tavi ia. He koe nonu na e tori ia mi Hawaii, Kahiti, Haamoa, pea mo Tonga, pea kuone mafola i Europe, Asia, pea mo Amerika lahi. Koe nukuhiwa ia pea mo hono ngahi ao ngā, tā rewa ke otaha o nukuhiwa ki he ono valua, ni ma ono wha, fitu no ono ataha. Ono valua, ni ma ono wha, fitu no ono ataha.
Sending this one out. DJ
Hoi ki moe hamata pule o ku honga ka tek mau mo tuk taim ga mo mea mai ki he poloka malo fatalamatangi I he whiawhini whamalo ki a te vita whare ko hia ko e o mai ho tau ngai historia e tau ngai mea tokoni u tau wanga maheni ki ai ka mahalo uka ki tau nofo mo whiwhiri pe koe hao ngai mea tokoni ko ia mi whia. Te vita? Whokia te taimiga te koe.
Ia ta mawahe maen me mani o ke.
Koia.
Koe mani o ke whokia I Tonga. Taimi koe nai ka iaha taha kai mani o ke pehe koe siana whakapiko piko. E nai tōpe mani o ke ea koe mea lahi pe ke whawhanga ke whangapuaka. O kai pe ka koe pehe koe mea kai ea e ka kai whakapiko piko.
Maari e rama.
Koe uwhi, koe kumara, koe talo. Koe talo, koe kumala whokia. Ai nei hawa kapten koe ki tongani. Au lolo I polinsia. O ware he si o koe. E lahi ai kumala I polinsia. Ka koe a ka ui au Amerika.
Koia.
Ka mo, wai ke mo mea mai ki ai. Koe tau mea kai, me ka atoa mea kai na tau tupu moi ai Tonga. Koe omi ka atoa he tau whanga kui mei vai. O ka wai e kumala. Koe uwhi. Au pehe koe hawa e uwhi ia me Afrika. Au kui ai pe uwhi e ua kui ai hono tānoa pe Tonga. Koe kaho mo kau meire. Ka koe pehe koe uwhi ia. Koe hau ka atoa pe ia mei Afrika. Pea ko kalasi ia o kui he ono ngeau. Ono u kalasi. I Tonga ulai pe u kalasi tau ngawa ki Tonga. O e pāholo koe mahua.
Koia.
He ke tala, tamuni, ulai apita pe u kalasi Tonga. Ka koe uwhi, koe toki o mai he tau whanga kui. Me uwhi tu na nau folau ki ai omi ki Tonga. Ka koe kumala mo mani o ke, koe mea kai mei Amerika.
Koia.
E tau kai pe kumala mo mani o ke, koe whaina, ke tau iloi, koe mea kai ia na o mai mo e tau whanga kui mei vai. Na toki au mai e kau pālangi ki vai, e ta wha hiwa wako o silaka he tau e wawe. Ai mawahe tau kakai a tau tolu. Mei vai ki Tonga mo polinsia.
Koia.
Kai ke ngai mea mau inga e koe ke tau iloi. Ko tau tupuanga. Kai ua e o mai pe kau muri ta mai koe tau o mai mei Taiwani. Pa tau tari le rei ai pe. Tua io ka ai mo ai ho tau. Ata mai ke ilo he kau muri. Au tau ilo e tau mea au whai koe whanua poto tau tolu. Mei he ka mataanga o au mai ke ahoni. Pea koe civilized mo tua a tau tolu. Na tau hao mo pure tui mo o mea katoa. Whare area. O se mau pe mea katoa. Toki wange kau pālangi mo whakalakalaka. Na o si tonga pe i he koe tau hao. Mei he vai hi koe whanua poto ia mei anafi. Koe a whapea ko whanole rei mai pe ki he lawe atu ki he tau mea kai mo tau historia.
Koia, o ku mahu inga whoki ai me go whatonga I he tawak whakasai nisi. O ku me ko e ngai whaitu ko tabe hange ko South America. O ku iaia investment lahi ai ngai pure a ngā. Ke toi whoki ho nau kakai o tō pia mo mau mea tokoni me ngahi u mea tokoni na e iaia nau whangakui. Hange tau whatata ki ena koe mani o ke. Koe whanua ko una hanga whao ai mahua a me mani o ke. Lahi taha koe mamani ko Afrika. Pea koe mea ni ko o ku maali e. Hena e kamata aki koe mea ku ilo e ni mahalo koe wawhe tau whakafofua ke wawhe maa whaa, wawhe maa tolu. Mau whetaulake atu I he ngahi u Kuiga Natural Product Show I California. Pea whetaulake koe mui kausai nisi koe ni. O nau whamatala I mai nau fufua kamata koe e nau ai mahoa a. koe tau anga ia e tau ai mātonga. Hono ai ko whakapala e mani o ke, pea osika i mea, pea o kutoki awelewa tau waki, pea toki momosi me iai. Pea koe taini mi u kehe ai process he taini mi, koe ki te whai ai whakapala e mani o ke, koe whohi pako e mani o ke, osika pa uai pe ai tawaki ko o mōmoa, pe o kage toi tawaki o mōmoa, o whakamōmoa e he mi sini. O kuna osi set pe nau tolu ai peseti o mōmoa. Ko ne osi pe, ko ne au pe ke peseti o mōmoa, mahalo ku manatu i peseti e hongo fulu pe si i fuai. Aia ko peseti hongo fulu, ko peseti hongo fulu o e manioki ko ia ko e vai. Aia mahina u si au pito. Haure vai a whakamokomoko, pe ko ne mokomoko arulau de vai ke he mi sini momosi. Ne momosi e ia pauta ko ne haton pe mea i o whao mila tangai hau ke whare koloa. Pea oku mamafa. Mamafa ai mahoa ako ia oku ngahi koe pe me mani oke. Koe ngahi u whadotolo whasaini si he usio ke ai mo savea i. Oku lereiangi ai mahoa a me mani oke he mahoa a me huite. Mantu e maha me huite ko lahi au pito ngai mahaki ke hua me ai. Ko no uhinga ia oku nau eke mao e pehe kau palangi oku gluten free mo e hafu e ngai umea ke. Uhi oku nau palo parema ia ai mahaki kete mo ngai umea pehe. Ko mani oke, ko e kalasi ko ia upehe ko hango makau ngā api ko tanga na toke nau whakatau e mani oke o ngā oe ake maha mani oke. Nau ki tairigiri, ko ne osipe ko ia e oate e mani oke nao na tō whakatau tangai. Oku mamafa. Ka koe mahu inga whuke kau pālangi e mo uile rei, pe kai ke toi hoha a ke gluten ko ma umi uite. Pero nau tolu nia, oku nau hana tau malanga i mai kia mau tolu ai mahu inga koe e mahoa me mani o ke. Totonu ke alu me mau tolu kia nau tolu. So mahu inga rewa ai mea tokoni tau whanga kui hono o mai, pia mei vai, pia koe kai ke ngata pehe tau sio ki he whakahistoria ho whamatala, kau tau lava to sio ki he mea whakasainisi.
Kai ke he, koe mahu e ngai ho tau historia.
Koia.
Ke tau ilo, e tau mea kai, nai hau mei whe. Mo whe folau aki, teipe ke tui, kai ke tui e kau pālangi ia, nā tau hau mei Amerika. Koe pehe, nā toki hovare pe koe, he mau ai hui moa mo mea koe moa mei atu mei Polinsia i Amerika. Koe tau whankui koe o mai mei Amerika, o mai mo mea kai, nau hau mo ia ki Polinsia.
Koia.
Se ai ke mahino ke kau pālangi, ko vai hi e na tau o mai me ena, tau hingo pe, au ke hahoni, au tau ke ngā wea ke, ko ngā lahi e tau rea, koe rea ia, koe hau mei vai hi.
Koia.
O koe hau mei kau siaina. E koe, ngai mea ke tau se whakatata peke e ahau, ko tau wha ahau, ko tau tui e ahoni, ahau. Koe hau mei Amerika ai hingoa. Ko lau a whei tau e ne nofu a tau tolu o ku kei whe piki taki pe. Kau kai ke lope ko hafo i rea whaka Taiwan te tau mao e honi ko e tau rea ai.
Maari lai. Koe resi o ko ki i whakatotolo i whahe resi he ta ngāwe. O koe resi mere ni ni utawongo tāno ki ai. O ku maari e resi mere ni he koe tupu ia i Brazil. Ai resi mere ni. Pea koe uhi foki koe mau he whanua koe na nau mau a Brazil, na nau te mau ai pea mo Taiwan. Ko Taiwan ia na e whakahingoe ki mua ko Formosa.
Ia, Formosa.
Pea koe mea ko umari hangarewa he whanua koe ni o ave aeresi me Brazil introduce ki Taiwan. Pea kui rewa aeresi a koe Formosa papaya. Kai ke uia koe Brazil papaya. Ai rewa o ki i... o Maria ni mea koe te siopek he resi i Walmart pia mo Lucky, koe stoa ko kui koe Lucky, o ku whaafa ofa o bide de sio ke resi mere ni, o ku aspe ai Formosa Papaya. Ka hiri ko ia o kai ko hao i mi Taiwan, ko e Formosa Papaya o ku seolo hanga tonu mai ia, o mai kotoa ia pe me Costa Rica, pa mo Brazil, pe tō laita ha ai whaamiri una o on ko e ai Formosa Papaya.
Tage unga wake uhingoa muri ia, kai ko hingoa Amerika.
Ko ia.
Tanko sia ine. O nga aruia o aru ke Williams, be aru ke
Ko ia.
e kau Amerika. Ai o mea ka ia, nei kai ko mea ka ia mea nautolo. Wanga nautolo whakahingoa.
Ko ia. Aia ko kuira pena te hanga o lawenga nei, ko koe pena ke mua whakahingoa ha whainga a kau pe koe fruits, koe hingoa koku ke awe koe ki ai e tuku iai. Ka ku kai whuka e, ko pau koe ai ngahi mea whaka step, whaka sainisi kono whakahingoa koe ia o e mea. Hangi koe nonu, tau whatata, pe koe nonu kui koe Morinda citrifolia. Pe koe citrifolia o ku hao pe me citrus fruit. O ku na kāinga au pito pe me citrus. Ai koe fuafua whakahingoa i he tangata koe ko Carlos Laneas, na ni hanga ia o ai tani whai i India. He ko mi lahi o ngahi umea koe ni India. Ta tau peta mui. Koia ko Asia ia. Koia. Pe toki bafola mai ai ngahi hingoa o mao e pe hingoa ai au kai ke to e.
E ko hango e lau koe ke nonu. Pe voki e au me Southeast ki Australia o mafola mai ai. Na kai koe whaitu pēna i ai. O tu au koe nonu ia. Pe au nei awe he tau kakai mei i Amerika. Hau mo ia mei vai o mai ki Porinsia. Toki mo where ai. E pepe ia nei. South America. Nei mau ki mua au pito ai. Ano nonu ia. Ka koe tama bena ne waki whotu ha fo i mea ha whaitu. Kala ia koe mua ia.
Pe koe pālangi whakiona ne whotu.
Tohia ia.
Ko ia.
Claim ia hingoa.
Aia kono mahu inga ia ki tauhanga o e hoiki mo hea mata pule o mea i e tau mao. Mea tokoni, mo mea tokoni koe tau ngāwe aki. Hei ko lau i sen tūri e hanga tau whankui o mai ngai mea ko ia o tāpui kina aki tau tau pia. Ofa bege tau hanga o toe tō e ngai a kau ko ia, uhi ko taimi ko ia o tau aloi tau tau me whei tuun. O ku aloa ke tau whanau mo whakamōpuna nau. Hoko atu e kaieng ai mea tokoni. Kau tonu ke nau ila nau tolu, ko hau ai mea tokoni me whei ia. Pia, ko tui koe teupetau ki minite fitu te aha o ki i mea o ke toi fie vai vai.
Ki mea abe e ngari fo o ke lawe ki ai.
Ko ia.
Ui whoki na tau, na pehepe koe kakai lapita ki tau tolu. Pe koe te ase mai e, whakamatala mai ki muia, o kui ai, pe ui me whangapuaka, koe lapita piksi. Ke mea ana e, kumi he kau whakatotolo, nau whe kumi ki he DNA koe ne whankuri Porinsia.
Ko ia.
Pe wako tau o mai mei Taiwan o Hawaii, Philippine o hau ki Porinsia. Whakatotolo atu e TNA e whankuria i Porinsia, ke he me whankuri TNA koe na koe mei Taiwan, ka mo Philippine. Pehena tau o mai ai.
Ko ia.
Koe whangakuri, koe akau, koe whangamanu ia, na e whawhanga lahi au pito he kau mai eni. O nau kai, pe whai ake nau whai whai lau. Pea koe whankuri Porinsia ia, koe o mai ia mei he kau mai eni, mei Mexico, mo Central America, he tau whangakui ke Pasifiki a whangakuri. Koe mea ia, o katawa kusewa koe, ke te kumi koe a kau sainisi ke whankuri, pe ai ai mo e whai whehui. Ko whangakuri Porinsia me pe. Ko whankuria na o mai mo e tau whankui, mei he kau Miami, Mexico, mo Central America, ki Porinsia kuke hebe whankuri Porinsia.
Ko ia. Koe tohi noa koa Captain Cookie, na ne pehe, na ne fufua o mai e hoosi, o tuku I ewa. Pea foki mai he tau hoko mai, aine ne whakatu o tua, ko ne foki mai ko ia ku lahe whanga hosi. Hau iau kai ke ha hosi ia. Pea koe whaka eke ko ia e Captain Cookie, asi koe ne tohi noa u pehe. Talangi he kau e wā ia. Pehe e nau tolu ia ko ha kuri la lahi, pea nau tau rewa nau tolo kai. Pea whamatala koe e Captain Cookie, na kekene o mai e kuri, na hau pea o si tonga e whanga kuri ia. Nok maari e hanga e whotutu. Pea toi whoki mai rewa e tangata e ki Captain Cookie, o toi o mai e hosi, I he tau koe hoko mai. Aina e kone hau whaka osi whoki tonga e ta fitu. Hau rewa ki Hawaii e ta fitu ono hiwa, ta fitu tolu ki tonga, aina tau e tolu whaka osi e ta fitu, pea si malolo I Hawaii. Kulahe apito ngahi mea o ku totoni ke vahe pa tau wako me toi noa a Captain Cookie, whikau aki mo tau kakai, whangamonu manu, mea tokoni me ngahi mea pehe tokoni ke tau whauho tau historia ke kakato hangi ko whamatala. Whausi mai rewa kata.
Polokalama I Nusila he kui ai mai na tolu, na kui Nusila ai. Pea nau polokalama tua taha he wiki. Pea tā mai ai, tā mai au ngau he whama.
Koia.
Tamatonga. Tā mai ia nai toki o mai Captain Cookie, a whangapua kā ki tonga. Ko talange. Te whoki peo whakarerei ho whekumi. E koe whangapua kā nai o si tonga pe ia. E koe haua Captain Cookie he taha whitu. Koe taha wā, maha e taha wā mo e taha tolu. Nai whai ai koe na hono la pasi e tui tonga I ha moa.
Koia.
Hono mono mai koe o si ai whangapua kā ia. Se ke waha mamao taha wā ke taha tolu. Pea mo e taha whitu nai toki aloangea Captain Cookie. Uhi nai omi koe whangapua kā ia. E koe tautu whakaolofo ke koe whangapua kā. Koe konga e iki, koe tu pau ke whakaasi ia. Ome umu ki pangai. Mono ko he kawa moa. E whohiwa e puakai na upo vai I lalo he umu. O mai koe nau toki. To ope na upo vai o howhia kautonga. Ro tonga whai e whakapangai. Whoki pe koe ki tonga furihi. Whohake puakai te whai. Kia sia. Lau e ngā ue huahuai.
Koia.
Ke eua te ia he mea tau e mono mai o mai ki pangai.
Ai ka tahenga e uhinga lau e ngā ue pe hohua e.
Iyo. Hui koe fui mea koe nai whahe ka hoa moa I ha moa.
Māri. Māri e la. Pea kotui e tā toi polokalama pe I he maina ka hau. Lava toi waha toi mo ngahi mea kehe. E ho eki mo hama tāpule o kuhonga ka te maua ho mong tuku taimi ka mo mea mai ki he polokalama lofa talamatangi he fiafini pea ko te vita whare une whai atu a ngai whamatala whikau aki mo tau historia tau te whito ke mea tokoni o tau wanga maheni mo tau ifo ia ke tau mao mea tokoni ma o pe mi ai. Ki rea whakaos mai reo ba ta lawa e ta taimi.
Koe tau hoko tai beke he tau mea kai. I he polokalama ka hoko kei lahi a pito pe mea kai ia. Ke whakamatala e tau mea kai koe hau me Amerika. Kia tau tolu. Pe whakamatala ai mo e mea nai awe he tau whangakui mei porinsia ki Amerika.
Koia.
Koia pe malo.
Koia. Malo a pito ho mo mea mai ki he polokama he ahoni me paenga o he televisione mo re ti o Tonga. Vake Tali Folau Global Media Network. Ko au awhapalu, te vita whare, pia me he piwa I u Provo Substation, mo mea whakawhea atu ki mo tolu ke mo mea atu ki he main substation ko ia ai Vake Tali Folau, tari mai mea I a Seonto Alau Makahiri, mo Emery Tofu Makahiri, mohani ihi ke he te nau whai atu ngai polokalama, ma mo tolu, pia kahiri ia, mo tolu ko ia o mo a po uri, whakawhea ki mo tolu ki he VTF Honolulu, ki a Siwakiri vai, le me ki mahe pia mo e pure lahi pia mi ai, pia tau toki tukurea mi ai, malo o whaatika te ki mo tolu ko mo mea.